And welcome to the AM show. We're so glad that you could join us this morning. And of course, we shall begin with the news and sports updates to get you fully caught up with everything that's happening in and around us. Now, to the matters arising this morning, we shall start with elections. The new Patriotic Party says it is fully set for its January 31, 2026 presidential primaries, assuring that party structures, security arrangements, and electoral commission support are all in place with ballot printing already underway. And also, to the NDC, the contest for the vacant Ayawasu East parliamentary seat is heating up, and 6 aspirants, including Hajia Amina Adam, widow of the late MP Muhammad Nasser Ture, have picked up nomination forms to contest the NDC primaries. And then we shall get into the judiciary as the Supreme Court has dismissed an application by the Office of the Special Prosecutor to join a constitutional suit challenging key provisions of Act 959, raising fresh questions about the limits of the OSP's mandate and Parliament's role. We shall get into that. And later on the show, we'll turn our attention to immigration law. What do you know? How much do you know about immigration law? We'll break down the nuances, right, risk, with immigration lawyer Angela Moore. You don't want to miss that conversation. We get to know more about her as well. And joining us today is Dr. Asa Asante, as usual, lecturer and head of European Studies at the University of Ghana. Ofori Atta is National Communications Director for the CPP, and David Vondi is MP for Ofori-Atta Mokwa. Alfred Thompson is NPP Communications team member as well. You want to stay with us? It's going to be quite a packed show. But quickly before that, Denisia will bring you the news. Please stay.
Hello, good morning. Welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denisia Pomaije. In our very first story, policy think tank, the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy, is raising concerns over claims by the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board regarding Bar Rock Company Limited's 2 billion cedi advance payments guarantee in connection with Gold Board's gold aggregation and trade agreements. Speaking at a press conference, Professor Isaac Boadi explains the level of cash adequacy ratio any bank will be required to hold to issue a 2 billion cedi guarantee. We'll be hearing from the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy shortly. But first, let's listen to Sami Jainfi speaking on Newsfile.
Say somebody is an aggregator, it means that he's entitled to receive state funds to buy gold. And therefore, there is a strict set of governance, legal, operational, and financial requirements he must meet as a risk mitigation measure. He must have minimum 3 years experience in gold trading. He must have minimum 3 financial statements preceding his application. He must have at least 3 buying offices in the country. He must have at least a bullion van and so on. But the most important requirement is this. He must present to the Gold Board a bank guarantee or an advance payment guarantee from a recognized financial institution.
Bar Rock is the only one that.
And I'm saying it on Newsfile today. Yes, I'm saying he has given us an advance payment guarantee covering a trade capital support of 2 billion cedis. 2 billion cedis.
Let's now hear from Professor Isaac Boadi, who is with the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy.
Why this is of national importance to us? The scale and the risk. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 billion is not a trivial figure. 2 billion is not a trivial figure. It raises fundamental questions about public financial exposure and sovereign risk. Public financial integrity of Ghana gold aggregation and trading arrangements. Possible implication for Bank of Ghana's gold reserves, liquidity, operations, and balance sheets. Compliance with public financial management, procurement, and governance law. In a democratic society, as we have here, particularly one managing strategic national resources such as gold, such arrangement must be transparent, lawful, and fully accountable. We look at a formal demand for documentary evidence. To ensure transparency, we are formally requesting certified true copies of documents under the following 5 broad areas.
Well, he also added that with data, no single bank in Ghana has the capacity to produce the 2 billion cedi as guarantee.
Now let's look at the network. So based on prudential rules, a fully secured 2 billion guarantee will require a bank with a minimum net worth of 20 billion. Any bank that wants to advance or give an advance payment guarantee in terms of its net worth supposed to have about 20 billion. So which bank in Ghana can cough or show 20 billion net worth? EcoBank stood at 5.4. So with a bank of 5.4, we'll be able to cough or give a guarantee of 2 billion. So which bank here showed 20 billion? GCB, 4.0 billion. ADB, 1.28. Access Bank, 1.7. Fidelity, 2.0. Stanbic, 2.5. Stanchart, 2.4. Bank of Africa, $1 million. Republic Bank, $1 million. Let's look at the 23 banks in terms of their network. It moved from 29 billion to 39.88 billion. So we're saying that the entire bank in Ghana gave the 2 billion to Bawa for the advance payment guarantee.
Away from the gold board, Ghana and Pakistan say they plan to work more closely in a bid to broaden strategic partnerships. Both countries witnessed a staggered cooperation over the years owing to a myriad of challenges. However, at the just-ended Ghana-Pakistan political consultation in Accra, both countries say they aim to work together in the areas of defense, digital innovation, education, environment, agriculture, public health, peace and security, and people-to-people exchanges.
This signing ceremony and the inaugural political consultations mark a historic milestone in the relations between Ghana and Pakistan. They bring our two countries closer together, driven by a shared vision for mutual prosperity, growth, and advancement of South-South cooperation. Beyond today, it is our common responsibility to advance the areas of cooperation by proceeding along common guiding principles and working tirelessly for our mutual benefit in the areas of peace, sustainable development, and the well-being of our peoples. In this regard, mindful of the unfolding global complexities, Ghana believes that our cooperation with Pakistan must be broadened beyond the traditional areas to include strategic partnerships in the areas of defense, digital innovation, education, environment, agriculture, public health, peace and security, and people-to-people exchanges.
The re-establishment of our mission in Accra in 2022, after almost 2 decades, is a reaffirmation of Pakistan's renewed commitment to strengthening our presence not only in Ghana but also in this very important region. We are keen to enhance our collaboration in all spheres of mutual interest. Pakistan's foreign policy towards Ghana in particular and West Africa in general is guided by the principles of mutual respect, peaceful cooperation, and shared prosperity for our people in very challenging times. Excellency, while thanking you again for receiving me here today along with your team, I am confident that the bilateral political consultation mechanism will serve as an effective platform to advance our shared objectives and to maintain regular engagement and also to explore new and promising areas of collaboration.
Now to some other stories. Supreme Court Judge Justice Yoni Kulendi has joined old students of Tindamba Primary School to oppose plans to demolish the school for a 24-hour economy market. He insists education must not be sacrificed for commerce and says all legal means will be used to stop the move. The 70-year-old school currently has 370 pupils. Justice Kulendi has urged the Wa Municipal Assembly to build more schools instead of demolishing existing ones.
This is the Tindamba Primary School, one of the few oldest and pre-independent schools in the Upper West region, established in 1956. The pre-colonial administrators, with support from the local authorities, established the school in the outlandish enclave southwest of Sakbayiri, Zongo, and Kabanye. The school currently has a population of 370 pupils. The Tindamba Primary School, since its establishment 70 years ago, has produced swathe of people who are contributing to the development of the country and beyond. Dr. Abudu Sakara is a member of the 1968-year group and a retired staff of the University of Ghana.
The paramount chief of the Busa traditional area, who is also an old student of Wa. We also have His Lordship Justice Yoni Kulendi, who was my 1-year junior. We also have other professionals in other areas like the lands department. We have headmasters who have passed through, or retired headmasters who have passed through here. We also have other public servants who have passed through here. We have lawyers like Lawyer Ishak. We have lawyers like Lawyer Nombo. We have people like Mr. Nyantechi Kosi, the former Ghana Football Association president.
Despite the huge and significant contributions made by the school in the socio-economic development of the people, there are plans by the Wa Municipal Assembly, for that matter, the government, in the next couple of weeks to raise the school down to ground zero for a 24-hour economy market to fulfill the 2024 manifesto campaign promise of the NDC.
Coming to demolish a very important school that has some kind of historical reason in our community for the purpose of building a market, because a lot of people have passed through the school. So if you are demolishing it, you are trying to what? It will disrupt our attachment to the school, our emotional attachment to the school. So the best thing for them to do is to look for a different alternative.
The pupils will be relocated from the area to the Tindamba Junior High School and the Nuria and Huria Islamic schools, where they will seat part of their classrooms for use in the interim. A decision welcomed by many, but totally disagreeing with where they will want to site the project. They are at a loss as to why they will want to collapse education for commerce. Stakeholders of the school, particularly Sakbayiri and Zongo chiefs, members of the school management committee, parents and the Old Boys Association say they have not been consulted on the plan to collapse the school for a 24-hour market. Muazu Mohammed Akram is the chairman of the school management committee.
Let's say the chief executive or the minister or any of the relevant institution, do they pick them from the market? They are educated. That is the reason why they are picked to represent us in various institutions. So without education, how will it be done? So these children that are here, granted they are not educated, what will have happened? What sort of community will we be living with? But let's say public schools, now the enrollment is low because of the what? Private schools. Go to all the public schools in the region. You can see the enrollment is low. Because of what? Most parents prefer to take their children to private schools. That is the reason. But because of that, you can't even say the enrollment is less. Because of that, let's change it to be market.
Another is the parent association chairman of the school, Isaac Adam. He is of the firm belief that the school will lose its identity if it is mixed with other schools.
Yeah, as PTA executives,
they have not told us anything. They just want to sack us away. We heard they want to relocate the people and share them with Tendamba, Nuria, and Horia. How will we call the school? The school definitely would lose its identity.
Worried about the development to convert a relic to a 24-hour economy market, Supreme Court Judge Justice Yoni Kulendi himself, an old student of the school, together with other senior old students of the school, engaged municipal and regional directors of education and the Wallo Overlord, now for Senator City Philippo IV, and his subjects on the issue. Justice Kulendi was unequivocal and blunt, saying they won't allow the school to be collapsed for a market.
We are here with a complaint, but also with an announcement. The announcement is that we are not going to accept new people taking that school for a market. We will not, with all due respect. We will give you the hardest fight of your life, and we will use every lawful means to resist any plan to turn that school into a market. It's not going to happen. We'll take it left, right, center, and fight it with every lawful and legitimate tactic that is permissible in a democracy.
One municipal chief executive, Alhaji Isa Nurodanwana, posited that the matter is before the world overlord for him to take a decision and has therefore refused to give us audience on the issue. Our source at the One House Palace indicated that they are deliberating seriously on the issue and for now are also tight-lipped.
The Tendamba Primary School is scheduled to celebrate its 70th anniversary this year. However, with the intent of the One Municipal Assembly and the government to demolish and relocate the pupils to another school, the parents are saying that they are confused as to whether that is the best birthday gift the government would like to give to their kids. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Okay.
Away from the Upper West region, residents and traders in Komenda and its catchment communities have raised concerns over what they describe as the unfair application of measurements in the ongoing expansion of the Cape Coast Takoradi Highway. According to them, recent development indicates that the planned demolition exercise will disproportionately affect only one side of the road. They are therefore appealing to the government and to the Minister for Roads and Highways to intervene and address the situation.
For several months, plans have been underway to expand the Cape Coast Takoradi Highway, with demolition exercises along portions of the road already in progress. However, traders and residents of Komenda in the Komenda Dinegwa-Fabre municipality are expressing strong displeasure over what they describe as an unfair implementation of the road expansion process. At a press conference, resident and trader Felicia Tibu-Mensah questioned the recent changes to the initial measurements, demanding clarity and answers from the authorities.
We just want to know why they have added that second measurement, because for the initial measurement, we are aware from the 300 left, 300 right. But right now, on 7 January, they came and made another second measurement, which we don't know anything about it. And the extension too is too wide, which we don't even know what is going on. And up to now, from 7 January till now, nobody has even come around to say anything about it, as they did it for the first time. So for us for being here, our only plea was that we are only pleading the road for the road minister to come, and please, he should come and say something to us, because we just don't understand what is going on. We are troubled. We are all troubled from 7 January that they made this measurement, we've been disturbed up to now. If they come and tell us that, oh, now there's a changes, we will not say anything. But for now that we don't know anything, they've not come to tell us anything. It's like we are not happy at all. So they should come and say something to us. This is what we are only pleading for.
Another resident and trader, George Kumsin, explained that while the original plan provided equal measurements on both sides of the highway, recent developments suggest the demolition will largely affect only one side of the road. He therefore called on government and the Roads and Highways Minister to intervene.
Initially, they came here to tell us that the road, they will do it, they will take one side and the other side. But now, we don't know what is going on. They wanted to push all the two lanes to one side. That is not fair. So we're pleading to Road Minister and President to come and explain why they want to push all the road to one side. This one is national project. We can't stop them. We want the initial measurement. We don't want any problem here. So as we are talking, we need Road Minister and President to come in to tell us what is going on right now.
From Commander, Abigail Lissel Nkrumah reports for JoyNews.
It's now time for some business news. I'll bring you that right after this breather. Welcome back. Tax consultant Francis Timoboy is urging the government to maintain prudent fiscal discipline and block revenue leakages to mitigate the economic impact of recent tax cuts. His advice comes at a time the IMF is warning that the recent tax cuts and abolition of some levies could hurt the economy in the short term, a development that will result in the country losing more than 6 billion cedis in a year. But Mr. Timoboy suggests that without strengthening revenue collection, the economy may face renewed pressures. He spoke to Joy Business.
Yes, I think one thing that we all expect is the continuous fiscal discipline. Government should not spend when the money is not there. We've seen this thing in the past where government does not have the money, but some way, somehow, pressure, they can't sustain the pressure, especially from labor and everywhere, pressure everywhere. So they end up borrowing and therefore creating serious deficit for the country. I believe that if they're able to sustain the discipline, expenditure controls. We've seen some audits of, payroll that is circulating around. If all of these things are through and they're able to sustain and, monitor the expenditure, I think is one way government can do. Again, we need to block the leakages. Sometimes it's not just the revenue mobilization, but how it is spent. So by blocking the leakages and also creating trust in the system, obviously voluntary compliance will increase. So whilst we are looking at how we can raise more revenue, which we encourage the GRA to continue with all the policies, enforcement, we just have to also look at the way the money is spent. And with these two measures coordinating very well, I believe that we will still be able to pursue our developmental goals whilst waiting for the future benefits of some of these reforms.
Also, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is appealing to government to integrate the One District, One Factory initiative into its 24-hour economy policy to boost private sector growth. According to the Chamber, by incorporating this initiative into the 24-hour economy, the government can leverage existing infrastructure and expertise to drive growth.
These are Ghanaians who have established businesses. So if you don't like the policy, can we roll them onto your new policy? Because the new government will come with another policy. Do you want us to leave them behind? You can't leave them behind. So you roll them onto the new policy and showing that, okay, you are under One District, One Factory. Now we want you to operate 24 hours. And when you operate 24 hours, you are going to get a benefit of, let's say, reduce tariffs on electricity over at night. I think that's one of the policies. So there are conditions in that policy. So if you are under one district, one factory, and you decide to come onto the 24-hour policy, the benefit of the 24-hour policy, you should get it. So you, the entrepreneur, you, the private sector business owner, should also decide that, yes, I want to come on that policy and get a benefit out of it. But you cannot say that I've cancelled out and therefore they don't get a benefit.
Let's now bring you some updates on the commodities market. And that's it for AM News. Please, for more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Denise Apomaje. Up next is sports. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Muftau Nabila Abdullah, welcome to AM Sports. We're going to be talking about the FA Cup, where the big fixture in the round of 16 will be happening between Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko and Ediana Stars. And also, CAF is expected to issue a verdict on the chaos that we witnessed during the AFCON final within this week, according to a statement that came from Senegal. But before that, I want you to have an idea about how you can experience the FIFA World Cup that will be taking place in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. There's only one home, and that home is Latina Travel and Tour. Get in touch with them. Their office is at Alisa Hotel, Northridge, and secure your spot. The package is for $3,990, and when you pay that, your accommodation, your feeding, that's a feeding is not part, your accommodation, your tickets to watch all the 3 matches that Ghana will be playing at the tournament, and also to have exclusive business networking opportunities across all the host cities, our host nations, as well as other chartered flights that will be bringing you back to the country if you pay that. So get in touch with them paying $3,990. The number is 0244-260-789 today, or visit their office at Alisa Hotel, Northridge, and secure your spot for this once-in-a-lifetime journey. Now let's talk FA Cup draw. The round of 16 draw took place at the Ghana Football Association Secretariat on Tuesday, and these are the fixtures currently on your screen. We have Dreams FC coming up against Inter-Allies. Inter-Allies were finalists of this competition in 2014. They came up against Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the final. True Life is also coming up against Heart of Lions, and they will have 11 Wonders coming up against Atram Divisor. Mediama FC will come up against Samatex. Atram Divisor, they were in the semi-final of this competition about 2 seasons ago when Kumasi Asante Kotoko won it. Ediana Stars will come up against Asante Kotoko, who are the current defending champions of the competition, as I mentioned. Mediama will play Samatex, and we'll have Tachiman Liberty Youth against Real Tamale United. Nations FC will play Swedro All Blacks, and Brekum Chelsea will come up against Tamale City. So these are the fixtures for the round of 16 of the FA Cup. Now, let's move on and bring you other stories, specifically on the Confederation of African Football. According to the Senegal Football Federation, CAF has told them that a verdict will be announced within this week. We come home and talk about the sports fund, where the bank, Ghana Commercial Bank, has been appointed as a recipient. The bank that will be that has been approved by the Ministry of Sports and Recreation and Controller and Accountant General to open an account to receive monies for this sports fund. My colleague Lawrence Bedu has details in this report.
The appointment was announced during a courtesy call by the bank on the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, at the ministry on Tuesday. The Ghana Sports Fund is a strategic financing mechanism mandated to mobilize and manage resources for the development of sports across the country. The fund is aimed at supporting the construction and maintenance of sports infrastructure, athlete development, and welfare, as well as promoting grassroots and youth programs. Kofi Adams expressed confidence in GCB Bank's capacity to effectively support the implementation of the initiative.
It was on Friday. Yeah, Friday. It was on Friday we did this, and the bank has responded. And it tells you that you are very ready to capture not just the space in Ghana, but to capture every space that is available for you. This is unusual of what we've known of state-related entities. There always be a layback, and the private ones will jump in and take that opportunity before we. But you have moved even before any made any move, and I must admit, as a minister, the conversation started even before the presentation of the bill to even Parliament. The bank had shown interest that they wanted to partner with us. They have in the past also partnered with us to support sports, especially our U20 team. You've supported them in their competitions, and so you are not so new to the sports supporting ecosystem. So I want to use this medium to appreciate that.
The bank's appointment as a collecting bank comes off its long-standing experience as a trusted financial institution for key state activities and government-led initiatives. The executive head corporate banking at GCB Bank reaffirmed the bank's commitment and continuous support to the Ghana Sports Fund.
In GCB, we believe that we don't only sow the seed, we grow with you and make sure that we are there when you need help. Our mantra is your bank for life, and our commitment to sports development in Ghana, as has been witnessed in the past, is to support, grow this, and we believe that the youth has a place in our society, in our democracy, and in our business. We believe that building the foundations is key, and for the past 70 plus years, that's what we have been doing, and we'll continue to do that. What I want to assure the ministry of is that we will be the bank that will hold you through all the phases, and this fund will not be one that will just be on our records books, but we believe that together with a partnership that we intend to develop, we can grow it to sustain sports in Ghana. Hitherto, we have depended on charity to run some of these activities, and we think that your initiative of setting this up is a great one, and we will continue to be that fallback partner to ensure that this gets to the levels that we don't have to advertise and knock on doors to raise funding to take our youth teams or our athletes to events across the globe.
He added that the bank will deploy its robust collection systems, digital channels, and nationwide branch network to ensure efficient, transparent, and accessible contributions to the fund, while upholding the highest standards of accountability and service delivery.
We believe that it's not only about the money being held in a bank, but beyond that, what do we do to ensure that this fund grows beyond just voluntary contribution or tax element that goes in? How well it's invested, it's where we'll bring our expertise and make sure that we open the door and other partners come on board to make this sustainable.
The chairman of the Ghana Sports Fund also appreciated the efforts of GCB Bank, while also calling on others to come on board to support the initiative.
Well, I mean, partnerships are important when you're starting something like this, and a strong partnership will actually set the foundation to ensure that what it is that we're trying to do has the strong, solid foundation it needs. So we are happy to hear that they are interested, and we'll work along with the administrator to do all we can to make this happen.
Let's go to the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The Porcupine risk losing their captain, Samba O'Neill. Conversations about extending his contract with Kumasi Asante Kotoko has dragged for a while now. In fact, with media reports suggesting that he was almost on his way out of the club. But upon realizing that his departure from Kumasi Asante Kotoko was going to leave the club without anything to benefit from his services, he decided to rescind his decision to leave. And this year we'll wrap up AM Sports, yeah? Head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. The newspaper review is coming your way up next.
Hello there, good morning, and thank you for staying with us. This is the AM show. We're just about to review everything that's happening in the news. A lot of matters arising, but quickly before that, let me run you through what's happening in front of the newspapers. Let's start with the Daily Graphic this morning. The biggest one, government takes over illegally acquired state lands. And if you read the story, it tells you that it's going after especially state persons or public officials who have acquired land that belongs to the state. And they're also putting the regulation on. And very importantly, to regulate it that when you are in public office, you wouldn't acquire state land. That story is in the Daily Graphic. And on Kennedy-Agyapong, my job creation record puts me ahead. Kennedy-Agyapong touts as he wows the delegates, or he wows the delegates. And also, CRC recommendation on education, the Constitution Review Committee says that maintain status quo on mission schools at Christian councils. The story is on page 17 of the Daily Graphic. And energy reforms yield $15 billion. No blackout in 10 months. Energy Minister has been speaking. Story excites you? Grab a copy of the Daily Graphic. And we've got the back of the Daily Graphic. Konfanoche Hospital Cath Lab to be ready in May. The CEO has been promising. Story is at the back page of the Daily Graphic. Let's do the Daily Guide now. Supreme Court adjourns for Tokonu's cases, 4 of Tokonu's cases indefinitely. Story is in Daily Guide this morning. And we recall the colloquiative member of parliamentary candidate for the NPP who was allegedly up-in-arms with the wife. U.S. police released Ninoy's prison mugshots. Story is in the Daily Guide this morning. Survey tips Ken to win 52% of the Saturday elections that is going to be happening. And an update on the Ayawasu East vacant seat. That by-election is also looming. It's coming, and 6 people or aspirants have picked up nomination forms and they have filed it. And the one that has become very topical, 2 topical persons, Baba Jamal, who is Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria, who wants to rather drop the title His Excellency and take on the title of Honorable, has picked a form and wanting to contest that seat. But the wife of the late MP as well has also picked up the nomination form and also says that she'll be contesting 2 of these 6 candidates. You can read about them in the Daily Graphic this morning. And sold public lands to be reviewed. The Lands and Natural Resources Minister has been speaking. I brought you that story earlier in front of the Daily Graphic. Let's also do the Ghanaian Times. Governments to cancel illegal land deals. That's the same story. And make Ga Dangbe languages compulsory in schools. Ga Traditional Council. This happened when the Education Minister historically first ever visited the Ga Manche. That's the story in the Ghanaian Times this morning. Only Attorney General can defend OSP Act, Supreme Court rules. We brought that to you in our opening. I told you that it will be on the table for discussion. Of course, we shall bring you the details of that. But as of now, it would only be the Attorney General defending. The reason they have given is that it was the legislature that created that office, and so it can be that the OSP itself will be defending himself or the office. The story is in page 1 of the Ghanaian Times. We'll get into it as well. And UFO urges peace ahead of NPP internal elections. Story is on page 14 of the Ghanaian Times. And Nando Midwifery Training College to introduce RGN program and memo on second gas processing plants to be submitted to cabinet. Minister has been speaking. That was when the vice president visited the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. Now, the Ghanaian publisher, NPP's 2028 hopes research on Bawumia. Abu Jinapo has been speaking. Story is on page 3. And minority blast government over transport crisis. This is still fallout from that press that the minority, led by the minority leader, Alexander Opinion-Makin, had some days ago, which has dominated the governance and political discourse in this country. Story is on page 2. If you're interested, you can grab it. And as well, the Ghanaian publisher is advertising number 3 for the former Vice President, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, ahead of the 31 January NPP flag bearer race. The Economy Times, markets brace for impending policy rate decision and fuel price war shaking Ghana's petroleum sector. This conversation, since last week, we've been having it, and if we have time, we still will touch on it quite briefly. The Accra Times, Alban Bagman and Balfour Bonney collaborate to uphold justice and rule of law. This was that meeting that has brought the minority not quite happy about the visits of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice visiting the legislature and other investigative bodies as well, and says that he is on a thank you tour. But you recall that the Chief Whip, Dafia Mekbo, has been speaking and telling us why the Chief Justice visited the legislature or head of the legislature. NPP built the economy, but NDC takes credit to Sahini, I think, marking still from that NPP presser that he had some days ago. Let me take you to myjoyonline.com. That'll be for the newspapers. Right. MyJoyOnline.com and our top story. JoyNews gets results as Mahama Cares settle a little over 200,000 bill for midwife battling brain aneurysm. Recall that we brought you that story. That midwife who was taking delivery or was delivering another woman of a baby and had that challenge. We're happy to announce to you that the Mahama Cares Fund has taken full cost of it and that they're going to be helping her get out from her brain aneurysm that we brought you. Minority crisis file as 33 bills are rushed through Parliament under certificate of urgency, and they've been promising the majority that really that it's not going to be any form of certificate of urgency in rushing to pass bills like what happened before. So they're going to be giving them that pushback. I hope that you look forward to that in Parliament. Well, that's it for myjoyonline.com. Let's review a lot of the matters raised this morning. And we're joined by Dr. Asa Asante. He is a lecturer, head of European Studies, University of Ghana, and Osei Kofi Akwa, National Communications Director, CPP. He's joined us in studio. David Vonde, MP, is member for Ofori-Atta Mokwa. He'll join us a bit later. And Alfred Thompson is member of the NPP Communications team. So take a seat, grab your coffee, and let's get into the matters arising. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I hope you're well. It's midweek. I hope you're having a good week so far.
Are we?
You are?
So far, so good.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Okay. Well, so much has been happening. Maybe we'll start with the NPP, of course, because the NPP says that they are ready for Saturday's election. Let me come to you, Alfred, first of all. I know that the chairman says that the NPP is ready. In fact, the Electoral Commission also says that they've started distributing ballot papers and all of that. For a party, it's just tomorrow next, and then by Saturday, end of Saturday, we'll know who the NPP
is leading or who is holding the flag.
Absolutely. Let me have your take on that.
Thank you. It's ongoing. Everything is set. Last week, I was in the printing room for about 1 week. We finished all the printing materials, which the Electoral Commission came to seal in their various bags and sent it to their strong room for distribution on Monday morning, which they started yesterday. And so we know that, yes, also the album has been printed for everyone. So that's what they'll use for the voting on D-Day. And we are all set. I mean, everyone is ready. If you are not ready by this time, then it means that you are not part of the race. I believe all the presidential candidates are set to go on for Saturday. Because by tomorrow, latest Friday morning, all the campaigns will have ended.
Okay.
And then everybody is set. Every plan you have for your D-Day materials and everything, you should set it out. The committees have had all the meetings they should have. The police is ready to be at every polling station, well equipped to man every polling station for us. And so I would say that all true and true, we are ready for it. Saturday, we'll take one person, and Sunday, the person will start leading. Okay. Well, that's quite fast and swift. But have you in any way addressed the concerns of one of the candidates who says that the clause to Kennedy Japan, who's not quite happy with the clause that says that the same thing he signed this time was the same thing he signed 4 years ago. Okay. So I don't see any clause that should change. What it states, and it states clearly that, I mean, you accept the results as it is. I mean, whatever comes. So everybody has an agent sitting at every polling station. If, and let's use the word, I'm using the word if, your agent is there and he signs the forms, or whether he doesn't sign the form, and every other person signs, saying that what they've seen is clear and precise, I don't see why one person should cry foul. Because you should be able to get your people to do the work that you've assigned them to do. If there is a problem there, they should be able to alert. If everyone says that, yes, there is a problem, we agree to it, but we won't sit down, or the committee wouldn't sit down for one person to disrupt the whole thing. I don't think it's right. Okay. Let me come to you. So for you, as a party, or maybe as an individual for the CPP party, if you sit back and look at how the NPP, the candidates, have advertised their policies, how the NPP in itself has handled preparations post, during, and even Saturday ahead, how would you rate them? How has the NPP performed so far?
Well, first of all, we in the CPP couldn't care less about what's happening in the NPP. But unfortunately, we live in the same political compound, okay? And so if they decide to do things in-home or in-house, we don't mind. But if they come out, then of course, we'll also be compelled to talk about it. If you listen to what my brother Thompson is saying, then I think that that clause must be amended. That I trust you, MFA, to be my agent at the polling station. After declaration of the results, you, my agent, you are contending the results. You don't believe that is the exact vote I got. And then the clause says that if any other person, okay, agrees that that is the results, as they can tell from the, what do you call it, the pink sheet or the returning paper, then that's the results. So if that happens, then what was the point of sending agents? Okay, and I think Kennedy Japan has the right to raise concerns about that. And unfortunately, this is not a congregated Congress. It's not going to be at a same place. It's going to be decentralized. Why is that unfortunate? So what it means is that there are going to be a lot of people representing all the aspirants, all right? And the aspirants cannot be in all these places at the same time. For example, if there's a misunderstanding in of East, and Kennedy Japan or Baumea is in Greater Accra, and then his agent is contending the results, but people standing beside him, other people who are not his agent, are saying that that's the results, accept it. Okay? I believe that the final decision to accept the results or not should come from the aspirant, who cannot be there at the same time.
So he can only take what the reps are telling him.
That's what I'm saying, that the reps are contending the results. So there's a clause which Kennedy Japan raised that, okay, you guys are saying that when the results are announced or declared, okay, and my, my agent who have sent to represent me does not agree, you are saying that any other person standing by, apart from my agent, can say that that's the results, accept it. And that's what you want the amendment to. Okay? And so...
basically, is that the meaning of
it? No,
it?
that is not.
But that's what you just said.
I don't think you're listening to me well. Look at what EC itself does.
Okay.
When you have a rep there from any political party and you don't sign, doesn't mean that EC cannot declare.
Okay.
You are just there,
That's
one, as an observer.
Okay.
Secondly, if you are going to go, you are there, I mean, your rep is there as an observer.
But to record whatever
to record. I mean, you are observing and recording.
So
now, if you are going to go on the clause or the tangent that you are looking at, what you are trying to say is that anybody can raise hula baloo and the whole...
Who is anybody? I mean, these are aspirants.
When I say anybody, I'm saying that any rep can say that I'm not going to accept it because I've lost. And then we have to accept it that way. That is what goes on.
But do people say they don't accept just because they have lost?
Yes,
just because they have lost. What if they are genuine concerns? If they
are genuine concerns, there's a presiding officer there. He would look at it.
Which is the electoral commission.
Yes. No, but you are saying that if the results come and the agent is the only person who doesn't agree because of whatever he knows, okay? The fact that there's a presiding officer and there are other aspirants, representation, that's it. They should go back.
But that's rules and regulations of EC.
No, but the point is that
that's rules and regulations of EC. And listen, this is a dummy national election that we are doing. We are taking everything that happens in a national election and we put it in here.
Which makes it a bit difficult, especially so that when a person belonging to that party feels dissatisfied, where will they seek redress?
You can always seek redress.
Where?
One, at the police station.
But that's what prevented the person from doing. But
my brother, relax. You want to understand something from us. So if you've made your mind and you don't want to understand it, then relax.
Okay, let's hear.
Okay. Thank you. So let's take now, if you are at the polling station and you raise a concern, everybody will look at it. Everybody that is EC, the presiding member, all the agents there will look at it. If they see that your concerns you are raising is not genuine, they would go ahead. They wouldn't let one person disrupt the whole thing. It wouldn't happen.
Okay.
So we should understand that through and through.
Okay. Let me go on Zoom and bring in Dr. Sasansi. Doc, good morning. Good to have you on today. So, first of all, how has the NPP fared in preparation for the Saturday elections? And what genuinely is wrong with the clause that Kennedy Japan is having problems with?
I think if you look at the preparation so far, I must say that I must commend the party. It's been very smooth, and it appears to me the playing field is level. Obviously, when there are hitches, one or two, people will raise qualms about that. I don't know what Kennedy is speaking about specifically. If you can educate me on that, then I can quickly touch on that.
Alfred is here, correct me if I'm wrong, but the memorandum of understanding, that is a very enforceable memorandum MOU, right? Yeah. So there's a part of it, a clause 2, that says that all the candidates should accept or will accept the results when it is declared. He says that, well, there are issues of election irregularities, possible rigging and all of that. And so he's quite uncomfortable signing and agreeing to that clause. Alfred here tells me that it is the same MOU that he signed some years ago.
So he hasn't grown up.
4 years ago.
So he hasn't grown up.
Yeah, he has a right to change his mind. But what I'm saying is that, look, for elections, if you have any problem, you raise it at the polling station.
Thank you.
And it's resolved. But you cannot say that maybe because of one or two, you are holding the whole process to ransom. That becomes unfair to the whole electoral process. And that is why there are what we call post-election processes, and then on the day of election, there are also processes. So these things are taken care of, so that whenever there are issues in a specific one or two constituencies or polling stations, it can be resolved quickly. Beyond that, you have the right to hearing elsewhere. But that will not prevent the whole results not to be declared. Otherwise, the whole exercise, somebody knowing that he was losing can hold everybody to ransom.
Thank you very much.
And you will not get to the bottom of everything. But what people must also learn is that in a free and fair election, when you lose gallantly, and you have to accept defeat and abide by the rules of the game. But you trying to draw the whole system back, that one, it's an indictment on you.
Doc, constantly I hear people say that when people see that they're losing, or when a candidate realize that they're losing, this is when they start raising concerns. Are there other issues like election rigging, irregularities that can trigger them to want to not accept a process?
Oh, there is always that type of problem. But we are saying that if it is generally, you see it everywhere. Out of the 276 constituencies, we are seeing it in virtually all the constituencies. Then the whole election, there's a problem.
Not really.
But one or two, all right?
Yes.
They are supposed to deal with it within that specific areas, all right? Sometimes even those ones can end up in court, but it doesn't annul the whole process.
Thank you.
Right? And if you think you have been genuinely been robbed or been, worked against, you have every right to protest it within any lawful, platform. But if you want to use that and you say that you won't accept the results, and for that matter, the whole process is cancelled and the rest of them, one, you are undermining the whole process. Nobody will accept that. Two, you are also undermining your very presence within the party, how people look at you. And of course, it undermines your future going forward when you are looking for another position within the party.
Okay.
Right? But the spirit of democracy should guide all of them, that when you lose the election, you accept defeat and abide by the rules of the game. That's the spirit that drives any free and fair elections.
Okay. Doc, let me stay with you and let's bring in the bit about three-party stalwarts in court seeking to want to take out the option of delegate system and opening up the voting system. I know that you have spoken about this directly or indirectly over the years, but a reminder, where's your position? Should we open up the voting system or maintain it at the delegate system?
Not to touch on what the Supreme Court is going to look at. I want to look at it generally from political stand perspective. We are saying that, you see, when you conduct election and the whole mass of people take place, the election becomes what's so accepted and people want to own it. But when a few people also decide, it's also good, but sometimes it also affects, people's right to be represented or to vote and be voted for. From that perspective, it tells you that if you really want to allow a mass people to be able to participate in election so that they can have confidence in and all that, you open the frontiers for a lot of people to come in. It adds up to the credibility of the electoral process, and it makes the process very, 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 transparent and very, very good.
Okay.
Remember that the franchise, as it's given to people, once it's limited to a few number of people, it raises a whole lot of question with regard to that. So it is always advisable that you open the frontiers of the franchise, allow people as much as possible to come in and then express themselves to what election. But the difficulty also must be raised that sometimes the parties would love to implement that, but aware with that, the financial muscle is not there to support. So on that trajectory, what people do is that they go gradually until such a time that they are able to bring every member on board to be able to express themselves. So I am happy that the giants such as Professor Frimpong Boateng, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, and the rest are going to the Supreme Court to test this thing. It's going to strengthen the frontiers of our democracy, and then it will add a lot of, fillip into the system to make it more robust and more attractive and all that.
Okay.
Democracy, remember, demos, we are talking about the people, and krating, rule of the people. So once you allow a whole lot of people to take part, then democracy gain its, meaning in its proper sense. So I'm looking forward to what the Supreme Court will come out with.
Okay.
And that will shape the focus and direction of what we do relative to what primaries and the rest of them.
Back in studio, Doc, stay with me, but back in studio, we've been joined by Honorable David Vondi. He is MP for Ofori-Atta Mokwa. Good morning.
You got it.
Midweek, I hope you're well.
Yeah, God is good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay, well, we're discussing the NPP and they head into the polls, of course, Saturday.
Yeah.
For you, the NDC, I mean, the CPP, they said they could care less about what's happening with the NPP, but I realize that Ken here, apparently they do care what they do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I never finished making my point. Right?
Okay, you didn't finish making your point. What I'll come to you. Let me just introduce and then have his initial bite. So far, the NPP's performance in preparation for Saturday.
Let me first of all say good morning to you and my brothers seated right here. And also good morning to Ofori-Atta Mokwa and the entire constituency. Yesterday, I was with a very wonderful man, Govin Sagboja, the Minister for Road and Highway, and his sense of humor and ability to receive people in his office and talk to them in humility is absolutely unmatched. And good morning to you, my brother. I appreciate you so much, and God bless you. You see, ordinarily, okay.
For roads. He's gotten that matter of fact.
No, I mean, that's not it. Go on. Ordinarily, I do not have anything really to do with the NPP's premise. But you see, we Ghanaians, all of us, and if Ghana is safe, it's safe for all of us. And that is why it's important that we talk about it. I mean, the campaigning messages and attacks on each other, it's really getting very worrying. And I think that it is my prayer and hope that they would keep the peace going for the very beautiful development that we're seeing in this country this time around. Sometimes I get worried when, I hear some of them attack each other, say all kind of things about each other, and then they turn around to say they're going to sign a peace path, which, of course, I believe strongly will not yield any positive results. And so, for me, I think that it doesn't matter who they will select or bring as their presidential candidates. The record of the NPP over the past 8 years is known. Every Ghanaian knows about the NPP. It is a history we wish we never had. And I don't think that any Ghanaian will be interested in bringing that kind of calamity, upon this very beautiful country of ours again. Whether it is Bawumia, whether it's Kennedy, and whoever, I don't think that we're interested in that. But you see, there are some few things that are really worrying. We had Anthony Kabo, and he happened to be the former, Deputy Minister for Road and Highways, the NPP's former youth organizer, national, very important individual in their party who revealed a very interesting, story that all the prophecies that they were, these so-called pastors and, prophets being given, they look at data and they give them, the kind of prophecy they should give. And they do give those prophecies, which is really worrying.
So the prophets look at data?
Exactly. They supply data, information to the prophets, for the prophets to prophesy, within the areas that they want and give the kind of prophecies that they want. And it's really worrying. My sister, if you look at the 2025, December 31st, night, there were some prophecies also. Some prophesying that God said Kennedy Japan was going to win. Others were prophesying that, Bawumia was going to win. And that's a very worrying trend. I think that Christendom would have to relook at all these things, because I'm a Christian, a very good Christian at that matter, for that matter. And I think that we're disgracing the Christendom. Remember, when we were about having the 2024 general elections, where we had a lot of prophecies. People could come on radio, TV, prophesying, speaking in tongues, shouting that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Why don't you leave it for the religious
Hold
people?
on,
What they do with the data and the prophecy?
And again, we all saw how the prophecies went. People came out to say His Excellency Mahama had blood on his hand. He was not going to be president again. And that God told them, and God changes not, and that's what is going to happen. What did we see? Today, we're seeing another prophecy, some shouting that Bawumia was going to win, another person prophesying that, Kennedy was going to win, and all that. That kind of God that speaks to different prophets on same events differently. It's a very dangerous God. That God cannot be the kind of God I worship.
But as a country, because we accept religion in its level, it will be with us forever.
I think that the Christendom, the Christian fraternity, would want to look at these things and let's stop joking with Christ.
Okay.
It is not nice.
I mean, it's an important point he's made. He's not the only person who is quite concerned about these prophecies and all of that. But,
did you a situation where...
recently?
No, a situation
Musa
where...
They also say that certain prophets
come to him for the
data.
And they want the inner data.
Prophecy got to do with elections. Elections are science
again.
Popular,
Again. Is that not the point he's making?
I tell you what, God is not even interested. Okay? God does not care who wins the elections when in your own performance you do not serve the Ghanaian well and you want prophecy to let you go back to governance. It is not possible. Okay. God is not like that.
Okay.
So
in
2016,
when
God decided that they are changing Mahama, and he said that bring him back. Has God heard? Hold on.
That would be for the religious people.
Yeah. So let's not go there. I mean, you are trying to change the whole topic. You are done. No. For me,
according to this Christian.
Can I finish?
So let's
just a
David,
point. Just a point.
Please learn so that Kofi can finish his point.
I think that God is fair and is not interested in individuals, who wins and who do not win.
Yes.
I don't think that God loves anybody more than any other person. He loves all of us equally. Your performance will determine whether you win elections or not. So please, Christians, let us respect ourselves and stop these. It is not helping the Christendom. And so I wish I could wish them well. Unfortunately...
The NPP?
Yes. You see, unfortunately, okay, when you take my brother here, he's a good friend. When we're chatting, there are other individuals within the NPP that are my good friends. We all work together, we talk, we chat and all that. But you see, when these people come together to pursue the agenda of NPP as a party, if you wish them well, then you may be very dangerous to this country's development. So unfortunately, I cannot wish them well.
Okay.
It is my hope and prayer that they never come back to power.
Okay, Kofi.
Kofi,
you were making a point to say you didn't
let me state on record that my agreement with Kennedy Japan on the clause rate does not warrant or suggest that I'm endorsing him. Okay? I only, as a politician, also see that, certain things, if aspirants have, concerns, it must be dealt with and all that. So we wish the NPP well, unlike Bondi, I wish them well. Because these people are Ghanaians. They are going to have a program. And we pray that they have a successful program done in peace and all that. We don't want situations where things will escalate and the outcome may not be what we want here as a country. So we wish them well. But what I'm trying to tell them is that it's very important they come out as a unified front. If there's one thing that has really dealt a blow to my party, the CPP, is the fact that we couldn't manage our internal elections very well. So in 2004, you saw Upusika Gude, taking the back seat. In 2008, after Papa Kosindium, 2011, he has to form his own party. Dr. Abu Sakara is no more with us.
So you have felt the impact of internal elections.
It's a sharp knife when it's raised and you don't really pay attention to it. And it's sliced.
Where's Abu Sakara?
You understand? It's irreparable. You can't repair it. So we wish them well. And the NPP should know better. When Alan got angry and decided to leave, we saw what happened in 2024, sorry. You understand? So we wish them well, and we hope that they go through this successfully. They also have to be mindful of the fact that we live in a democratic society. And so the Public Order Act should be adhered to, where, you go, it's just a universal sovereign thing. One man, one vote. And look, the other political parties or alternative political parties will judge them based on the outcome of their elections.
Okay.
Because we know the number of delegates who are supposed to cast their votes. When there's overvoting, it will tell us something.
Is it usual for these delegate-based systems? Do we usually record overvoting?
They said there was something called ballot stuffing, blah, 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 and all those things. So you can't rule anything out. But what we're saying is that we expect the NPP to conduct themselves very well in a very democratic manner, so that at the end of the day, we all kind of believe that they understand the principle of democracy, and then indeed they use that during this election.
Which one do you want to start with again? The delegate system.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm going to come to Alfred. Yeah. Yes. Alfred. Okay. Yeah. Let's just start with. Alfred, let's go to the delegates-based system where...
I wanted to finish on some of the things that they raised.
Oh, you're going back?
I mean...
you went back, didn't you go back?
I didn't finish my point.
But I also haven't finished my point.
We really never finish our points, really.
No, he said he hasn't finished this point. I also haven't finished my point. But you're asking whether I'm going back.
I mean, because the NPP is headed to polls on Saturday, I'll be quite biased to want to hear what you have to say.
Thank you very much. Really? I wouldn't sit here and come and lie to you that some of the campaign hasn't been very murky. It has. And it's sometimes usual of a competition that is going this way. We've seen it in previous competitions where people have been called names and all other things. But you see, one thing I like about my candidate, which is Dr. Bawumia, is that he's always focused. Yes, I have a candidate. I have a vote and I have a candidate. And everyone knows where my vote is. Kennedy is a very good friend, but he knows that I support Dr. Bawumia. You see, whether we like it or not, one person will emerge victorious. And we have to accept it as it is. He made mention of the fact that Alan got angry and walked out. Alan went for an election. This same MOU that was signed back then, but it wasn't made public. But if it was made public, other parties would have seen that if you walk out, it means that you're a defeatist. You would show that you're a defeatist. He went for an election, he lost the election.
And he raised concerns of possible rigging.
And he walked out.
Were his concerns addressed in any way?
What rigging went on? It was even only the first round, the first round. Fortunately or unfortunately for him, Kennedy Ejapon, who wasn't even earmarked to lead the party, passed him. Where have we gone wrong? So Kennedy also rigged him? Is that what he's saying? He lost an election. And if you lose an election, you have to be man enough to accept it that, listen, the people don't want you at this point in time. Every time that the leader they take. So if he's walked out of it, so be it. Right now we know where he belongs. Everything is showing that NDC at at every table will want to bring NPP down. When he came here, he doesn't wish us well. The mere fact that I'm your opponent doesn't mean that you shouldn't wish me. He doesn't wish as well. He wishes the party will break.
I am conflicted because Kofi here in the beginning even said that he really doesn't care what happens.
He ended up wishing as well.
I also told you that
we live in
a political house.
Absolutely. Exactly. So you must concern yourself with it.
But I wish.
David.
I wish CPP would have resurrected.
But we are.
Okay.
I wish so.
They don't think they are dead. Why do you think they have to resurrect?
But he himself said that they are dead.
No, I said something that has dealt us below. You see, there's this funny feeling.
Can I finish?
Why you have provoked this debate?
No, but I have the floor.
The constitution.
Let me finish.
I don't mind the debate.
No, but he has
one political party coming in. Okay,
who told you have a floor?
Now you want to hit me.
If
you don't have a floor.
Go for an election,
but you have
and the NDC win.
You don't have a floor. Which floor do you have?
So I wonder where I am the second highest, or I am the second run-up, or I am the biggest opposition political party comes in. There's only going to be one political party.
He's drawing an inference from how much the blow you felt when the internal...
No, but he's saying that we need to resurrect as if we are dead and buried and all that.
So the internal issues didn't bury.
You are telling me the candidates, all your candidates, leave one after another.
Yes.
I don't even know where... I don't even know where Abu Sakara is right now. Abu Sakara, I don't even know where he is. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that on Saturday, we are going to emerge. We are going to emerge.
You had a good time to speak.
Oh, we gave you a long time. We are talking about Christianity.
We gave you a long time. We'll come to you. Don't worry. That's
on
not
Saturday. We are going to emerge victorious. Okay. NPP is going to emerge victorious.
Okay.
Because we are going to finish this election. We are going to become united. Every wound that is going to happen will be healed. There is no time. And we are going to work together towards the 2028 election.
Okay.
And I can assure you
whilst
that Ghanaians will be proud of us.
So whilst you're at it, of course, you know by now that there's some party stalwarts that are headed to courts, especially the Supreme Court. They're seeking to dismantle the delegate-based system, which is what you're using on Saturday.
Every party, national or international, uses the delegate system.
But the NDC had opened it up before, right?
What we are saying is that...
Yes. The NDC had opened it up.
But they closed it.
Yes.
So, fact is that...
Let him land on it.
Okay. Let him come. Let him come and then I'll...
Why are you shying away from it?
No, I'm not shying away from it at all.
I can deal with it.
I'm not going to shy away. Why should I shy away from this?
Okay.
I would focus more on Saturday than that.
This is a very important, release that those gentlemen seek. And it is not something to be washed away. Now, their argument is that you do not want few people to go select an individual who would come and represent a party to become a president or a member of parliament and all that. The NDC, we did try these, opening up our delegates, list before. And what we saw was that eventually you may get some people who come in and may not give you the best results you want. And so we try to close it back and be able to have the true NDC delegates, real party delegates, to select the representations that we want. And you see, it worked. It worked.
But
remember when we opened up, we lost a lot of seats at that time because we believe that some, people who won elections when we opened up did not really help. But I'm of the opinion that we can really look at this, thing very well. When you go to America, for example, and they are doing presidential primaries, you'll see that it is not few delegates that are, allowed to vote. The delegate system is really huge.
But in Ghana, it's all the delegates that are allowed to vote.
I'm saying that the number of delegates, but
it's quite representative.
Absolutely.
Isn't it a representative of their population?
No,
even for the political parties.
This time around here, what we're saying is that, the system, the delegate system, even though you are able to get the true party people, the real people who would
if we give Wadi the whole day, he would never finish.
Okay.
Just like
no, that's not fair. I will
just going around the bush.
No.
But I think that let's not wash away what they are presenting to court. I think that we can all look at it properly and come out with a solution that will help us. But it's not something to just brush away.
Brush away.
Because the NDC, we've tried it before. So it means that it's worth looking at.
Okay.
It's
You
worth
ceded
it.
your time to David, so I'm going to have to go to Kofi for now. You ceded your time to David.
No problem. It's the same like giving him the time. That's why I said, let me come in. Because if I ceded my time, he wanted to jump in, and I gave him the time.
I'll come back to you to make the point.
You have no point to make, my brother.
That these people.
You're what? Surprised?
Yes.
Okay.
These people of high caliber in our society have decided to stoop this low.
You mean those who are headed to court?
Yeah.
Look, these are a bunch of hypocrites, okay?
You mean the people headed to court?
Ignorance.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm talking about Frimpong Boateng, I'm talking about, what do you call it, Nyahota Makro, and I'm talking about Christian Yakunyama. These are hypocrites.
No.
And these are people who are ignorant. Please allow me. Please allow me.
Let him talk.
Now let me go to the hypocrisy part.
That's bad.
First of all,
No.
all these people have enjoyed certain sort of political benefits. Let me take Dr. Nyahota Makro. Dr. Nyahota Makro claims to be a founding member of the NPP. When the NPP was being formed, a constitution was wrote, okay? And that constitution became the guidebook.
The binding document.
Which guides them as to how they go about things. In that guiding document, all right, stated that the people who are always going to elect leaders for the party at the various levels are going to be delegates. So at what time did he wake up from his slumber, if not hypocrisy? To just wake up one day and say that, oh, we should have been doing this all card-bearing member kind of thing. When did you realize that?
But you also mentioned in an example, I'm not telling you you're done, but in an example of Kennedy Japan changing his mind, you also said he had a right to change his
what
mind.
I'm saying is, so I'm not appealing to what Mr. Thompson was saying that he signed and all that. You understand?
I mean, for the founding members,
I'm not even done. Okay, I'm not even done. The reason why I'm not done is that Kennedy Japan, just about 4 years, can change his mind. Dr. Nyahota Makro, the delegate system elected former President Kufuor, who made you an ambassador. You sat through all of it from 1992 till when? And now 2026, you just woke up from your slumber and you are saying that, this thing must be changed and all that. It is hypocritic. Let me go to Dr. Frimpong Boateng.
What will be the difficulty if it is opened up and it eventually?
I'll get there.
And eventually, just for clarity. Just for clarity.
No, I'll go there. So it's going to be chaotic.
No, but hang on.
The NDC tried
hang on. No, so here my question. My question is that
it's not even
whether
it's not feasible.
Whether it's chaotic or not, it will deliver a presidential candidate.
No, but the point is that
and the president would also still have the power to elect or to appoint somebody. So what will be the problem if it's opened up and all of that? Whether it's chaotic or not?
Before I go to what you are seeking, okay?
Let's hear
Dr. Frimpong Boateng, in 2007, put himself up as the presidential aspirant. There was a delegate system that was supposed to vote for him. He lost bitterly, okay? At what time did Dr. Frimpong Boateng wake up to realize that it should be open for all? Now, the reason why they are hypocrites is what I've stated. Now, let me go to their ignorance. There are virtually 3 types of members in every political party.
Okay.
They are the fanatics. I am a fanatic, he's a fanatic, and he is fanatic. The fanatic is a card-bearing member of the political party, pays his dues or her dues, and is part of every activism the party embarks on, demonstrations, press conferences, and all that. And some of them, most of the time, put themselves up for positions. You understand my point? So that is the fanatic. Then there's the members. These are people who contribute to the party, card-bearing members, but may not necessarily be interested in, demonstrations and other activism of the party. Then there are sympathizers. Very important. These sympathizers are card-bearing members. They pay their dues. But then because of what they do, or situations they find themselves, they cannot sometimes come out to associate with the political party. And we have that across the NPP and the NDC. There was a policeman who's now in parliament on the ticket of the NDC. Remember that? Okay? You can't tell me that he just woke up one day and decided that I am contesting. He might have been a card-bearing member of the NDC quietly, all right? There was a former journalist here at Joy FM and JoyNews, okay, who's now a member of parliament. You can't just say that he woke up one day and decided that I'm contesting, and they say that, oh, you just came in, but then you can contest. He might have been a member of the party quietly. Now, so when you say that all these people who, one way or the other, are managing their association with political parties to be exposed. What are you talking about? You don't understand. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
Because members of good standing are people with card-bearing members of parties, paying their dues, and fall within these categories I've mentioned. But some of them, because of what they do, they want to be protected. Some of them are contractors and all those things. Now you are telling us that force all those people.
Does that amount to transparency? Is these three categories that you have introduced to me, you're all politicians, is these three people that belong to political parties, in your practice, is it accountability? Is it transparent?
It is.
Is it?
It is. Because the decision between you, your decision to join a political party is between you and a political party. You walk into the CPP office and say that, look, I believe in Nkrumah. I love him. I want to be part of his party. All right? Now, when you come in there and you say that you want to showcase to the public that you're a member of the CPP, it's allowed. But if you say that I'm a journalist with multimedia, okay, I'm a host, I'm the referee, so I don't really want to be exposed. We have to protect that secrecy between we and you. You understand my point? Now, again, what are they even talking about? This thing they are seeking is already there. Now, they are talking about delegate system. What it means is that these are people who represent certain kind of people. Have you seen this book? That's the Constitution of Ghana.
Yes.
The preamble of the Constitution says that in the name of the Almighty God, we the people of Ghana, trust me, when this Constitution was being drafted, my daddy was not part of it, even though he was educated. But this book, okay, binds all of us.
Yeah.
So what it means is that at every point in time, a certain restricted number of people
would have to take decisions.
Exactly.
Okay.
You understand my point?
Okay, that's quite a
no, but that's the way it is. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's quite a strong argument you have put on the table.
You understand?
Okay.
Because when this constitution was being drafted, the Ghana Bar Association raised concerns, and they never partook in the drafting of the constitution.
Yeah.
But these are lawyers.
Yeah.
You understand my point?
Yes.
So
what? On them.
Yeah.
It's binding on them. It's binding on all of us. Even people who were not born by them, it's binding on them. You understand my point? Now, what I'm saying is this. If you go to political parties, they have their structures. If you come to my party, for instance, we have the cell, okay, which is a small area, okay? We have the ward, we have the polling station, we have the electoral area, and we have the constituency. At each of these structures, certain people must play certain rules by representing the party. So there's a cell chairman, there's a cell secretary, there's a cell organizer, there's a cell youth organizer, a women's organizer, and probably a treasurer, okay? You come to the ward, the same thing, you understand? The reason why we do this is to prevent chaos and anarchy.
Okay. Stay with me. I have to. I would come. You will. I know. Oh, you have had a
no, but
hang on. Hang on. We will talk. But I have Dr. Sasanti. He has to leave. He has to take delivery. He has to leave at 8 p.m. So I need to. Sorry, he has to leave at 8 a.m. So I need to go to him so that we'll take his final words. Then we'll focus in studio. That's fair, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, Doug. I understand that you have to go quite shortly, but. I was hoping we'll go to the other matters, but let me hear your final thoughts on what we're discussing, especially because you're pressed for time.
Yeah, you're talking about issue of the NPP, the rest, and then the delegate system. I've already spoken about it.
Yeah.
But if you look at the NPP, I want to zero in on a little of how far they've come. I remember a body was put in place to check excesses relative to the campaign and all the rest to it. I'm not sure that body worked because we have seen campaign that has turned toxic. People are attacking each other and the rest of them. The effect of that is that, look, when obviously one person will emerge victorious, but that person, if the person has been attacked, has been undermined, on what basis can the same people rally behind that individual that we are going to sell that person for the whole Ghanaians? It's going to be a difficult one.
And people don't know that.
Because they can't take back their words that they issued against their own colleagues. So I was expecting that ethics committee to be able to rein in heavily on them so that they can act properly. But hey, I didn't see the body working. Because from the word go, I realized that the body was going to fail. Because if you are going to, deal with things of this nature, there must be what? Prescription. You should define, in quote, that crime and the punishment for it. They could not define anything. So on what basis are they going to crack the whip on people who cross the line? There's no even lines to cross, let alone punishment for them. That is going to be a difficulty. And those who have attacked themselves so, severely, I don't know how they are going to campaign for the one who will win. It's going to be a difficult one for them. I don't foresee violence and trouble coming up because I don't see any sign at all. There may be differences and all that, but what people must remember is that you are fighting for the integrity of the party and make sure that you get a leader that will be able to bring you the votes. In going for this election, I expect the delegate to look for somebody with less baggage, because otherwise it's going to be a counterproductive. The opposition is going to chance on that and use that to attack the political party. Two, you need somebody who has a lot of constituencies. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about somebody that he has a lot of following from different groups and all that. And that can also help the party. And you need somebody who is very much alive to the problems of this country, not only the NPP, but the country, and he has solution to deal with these problems. So all in all, I think it's a contest that must be taken seriously. But the delegates have a lot of responsibility in here. If they go for money, they go for names, other than what I have said, I'm afraid they can elect somebody, but the person cannot compete with the NDC. Remember, you are dealing with what? A dominant two-party system in Ghana. Either the person is winning from NPP or NDC. The rest of the parties have been dwarfed by these dominant parties. So obviously, they will not be able to act effectively.
Kofi doesn't agree to your
No, it is scientific. Kofi, obviously, I understand his position. He can be having a problem with this. I don't have but this is scientific. That this is a two-party system. When we say a two-party system, we are saying that there are so many political parties in the state, but only two have what it takes to win power and form government. What it takes? Really? Talk about Kofi's party. Who has seen them? Are they visible? All over the country. When was the last time we saw them?
Kofi says he's here. Can you not see him?
That's serious. Allow Doc to.
No, he's serious. Kofi is communications director. What are the frameworks of a political party that the CPP doesn't have?
Because when you look at political parties, they should be visible. When was the last time we saw CPP in very fierce campaign and all that? We didn't see that. So, yes, I know that it's a mass party, but visibility, we haven't seen that. We have not seen them in action. Serious campaign, trying to get power from the political party. So, Ghana, whether we like it or not, is a two dominant political party. Like Britain, Labour and Conservative, like US, the Republicans, then Democrats. There are other parties, but they are what dwarf parties. These dominant parties have dwarfed them. It will take them a very long time to win power. Sometime forever, they will not win power. But if that is why the Constitutional Review Committee, I was looking forward to seeing a system, what we'll call a multi-party system. Multi-party system in politics, and when we are saying that there are parties that are in the existence, all of them have equal power to win power and form government. Sometimes they cannot form, a government on their own, exclusive to themselves, but they can have a coalition and all that. Is that the case in Ghana?
I'm really surprised. But okay, Doug, I was going to let you go, but I see that they have a few responses.
There's no constitutional reform that is going to recognize any political party that will make that political party win power. Okay, you can do all the reforms, but there will always be some political parties that will continue to be underdogs and will never come up. Okay, so the dominant of the NPP and the NDC, and today you can see the NDC, the NPP is also going down, will continue. I mean, that's what it is. When you go to the United States, you see the parties that, two-system party and all that. It's going to continue. It's not going to change. It's not going to change.
Kofi had a direct.
Going to be there.
Kofi had a direct bullet, so a direct hit.
Reform to bring them back.
Only fair Kofi respond.
I've always loved Doc's analysis, but today, in fact, I'm not happy at all.
Because it doesn't go well for
telling the truth.
Hate you direct.
Because he's being biased.
How?
Right? Now, let's go back in history. Once upon a time in this country, all right, there was one political party that helped other political parties form government. Don't forget that the existence of a political party does not necessarily mean winning election by itself. All right? In 1992, Jerry Rawlings had to partner with Ofori-Atta before he became relevant and became president of this country. In 1996, the Great Alliance, okay, which transcended into 2000, saw J. Kufuor, even appointing certain members of our political party. We admit that, of course, the party has suffered some sort of misfortune, all right? But it is erroneous to say that we've been dwarfed. I mean, you're talking about visibility. I'm here representing the convention.
He's here. No, but he's here.
How can you...
That's not what Prof is saying. When Prof is talking about political visibility, Prof is not talking about you sitting on a television set.
He's your chairman.
He's not talking about that. He's talking about the impact of the political party in our electoral system.
Do you know the CPP chairman?
No. It's not a fair question to ask.
But does that have a chairman?
Do you know the CPP chairman?
Okay, so let's not go there. You see, this is what I'm saying.
They've done elections and wing party.
Well, Doc, I'll let you go, but thank you for joining us. We'll continue in conversation.
So if
but Kofi, I think you have made good responses. I need to go to Alfred. We want to answer which one? You want to answer which one?
Dr. Santi, political analyst in this country.
Okay.
We've always said we want an alternative to the NPP and the NDC. If you come on national television like this, okay, and try to demoralize, okay,
but he should not be doing your bidding for you.
No, he's not. But he has to also understand. He has to understand. He has to understand that, at every point in time, okay, political fortunes can change. If we know who's going to win 2028, why are we bothering ourselves? You understand my point? And it is up to the Ghanaian, all right, to say that based on the message I've heard from Kofi or I've heard from Mr. Thompson or Bondi, I've made up my mind.
Doug is not saying he doesn't recognize the other party. No, but he says that the two big ones have dwarfed.
No, but he's wrong to say that.
Okay.
How? Okay. There are places.
Okay, I want to go to Alfred now. I think you've made your point.
That's his opinion.
That's very good. Now, I like that.
Doctor was saying.
His opinion.
Doctor was saying. He's saying something.
No, he's not.
Oh, initially, Doug, are you speaking to me? Did I lose you? Doug, please, your mic is off.
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
All that I'm saying that I am not doing this thing with prejudice to see people or any of the smaller parties.
Unfortunately.
No.
Relax.
No, you have only
take it in good faith and let's reorganize
this country from day one has been modeled around two parties.
When is it
that you can understand?
Yeah.
And when we say a two-party system, we're saying that there are a number of parties in the state. But how many of them can win power and form government? It's only NDC and NPP. Can you tell me that the CPP today can win power and form government?
Yes, we can. And we will.
Because for years, you have not been visible. You have not been campaigning effectively. And then your requirement
all of but Doc, you're speaking science and data. The member says that they have the capability.
I used to be the national youth organizer. Okay,
I want to go
to places I've been to. I used to be
that you have your.
I used to be the national youth organizer. Okay, there are places I've been to. There are organizations I've made. Look, in 2024. Okay. We had some small internal issues, all right?
That's point you have made.
Court and all that. So sometimes, okay, it's not as if we are not there. We have our own challenges and we are dealing with it. And I'm telling you that 2028, he should watch out.
Okay, Doc, please watch out. All right, Alfred.
So when
Alfred, I'll come to you, David.
To the delegate system, in life, whether you like it or not, there'll be some few people who will take certain decisions for a majority. Yeah. Like Kofi was saying earlier on.
That is life presenting that opportunity, but not when we decide to want to have very few people
you can
take
never
their
have
decision.
everybody. Enjoy FM, you cannot have everybody sitting on your seat. In this country, you cannot have everybody becoming president.
And let me even help you. In 2024,
please let me.
Who voted?
In this country, you cannot have all Ghanaians voting, who are registered members voting. In this country, we cannot have everybody taking a decision who becomes health minister, finance minister, that minister. You have a rep who will do that on your behalf, and that is the president of the republic. Otherwise, we all sit down and we vote for finance minister. Let's vote for this minister. Let's vote for that minister.
It's like we have cut to the chase. Before the president takes that decision, we, the electorate, must have voted for him. We must have given him that power.
Thank you. And that is
so we want to understand the delegate system.
That is where I'm getting to. When you go to the polling station level, all the people within that polling station will vote for the chairman, would vote for the secretary, would vote for the organizer, would vote for the youth organizer, would vote for the Nasara, would vote for the women's organizer. So they have a team they vote for. Those representatives will now vote for the constituency executives. After that, their work is done.
Exactly.
Then the constituency executives will now vote for the regional executives and the national executives.
So it is the same power being transferred.
Transferred over and over and over till
that's why I'm saying that they're ignorant.
But in the transfer of it, do we not save it? Do we not lose it at some point in the transfer?
You can never get everybody voting at once for a candidate.
Okay.
And that is why NDC tried it. They felt that there were some NPP elements who came in to vote for them. And so they had to come back. You see, we are not at a stage where you get, and you see, they use the word, and I'm glad they use that word, that there's the dues-paying members.
Members of
a lot of members of good standing. That's our dues-paying members.
That is when they open it up.
Yes.
Which means that you can be a party member, but we have to scan you to see that you're in good standing.
You're in good standing.
Which then still saves the people.
Thank you. Thank you. So it comes back to the same thing that, listen, at every point in time, you cannot get everybody representing to take one person.
What do you think is the trigger for them?
Their focus is to take the elections of Saturday and put it aside and let people focus on them. That's what you are doing now. We spent a lot of time discussing them.
Well, we have people like political scientists who think that
they know it's a non-starter. Frimpong Boateng, you became a minister. Did the whole country vote for you to become a minister? Oh. The whole country tried to vote, the whole party tried to vote for you to become a presidential candidate.
I mean, when we do that, are we not drilling it down? Because
I'm telling you something that the whole party tried to vote for you. You went to stand to become what do you call it? A presidential candidate. They said, no, you are not fit for purpose. And then they took you as a minister. Are you fit for purpose? So these are some of the things we should ask ourselves before we even take a step. Let us not use antagonism and trying to, pull him down in things. You've benefited from a system that you've enjoyed so much. But you feel that now it's
when I get scandalized when the argument is going to that side, because of course, for example, our constitution, we all have been enjoying it now. We all say that is lived.
Who enjoys the constitution?
I mean, so when I say we all have been enjoying it, the constitution as it is, we're living it. We will be subjected to that constitution, whether you like it or not. But at some point, people then will rise and say that it doesn't mirror the aspirations of people anymore. So let's sit down and look at it.
They said it several times. Has it been changed?
Well,
every president who comes there enjoys it. So he keeps it.
Interesting. David, let me hear you.
Thank you very much.
But before you go
what's going on today? It's not it's not a speech.
He's the last person who should support these people. Look, the NDC, at a point in time, before that, they used to congregate to elect the youth organizer and women organizer. You know what has been done? Right now, the youth go for a separate congress to elect youth organizer. So it's not the entire party that elected the national youth organizer. It's just the youth organizers.
So can you...
Okay, knowing this, the people watching know this. So let's hear him.
It's only the women's organizers and youth.
No, but the person who belongs to the party is here. So you can't sound louder than him.
He's hypocritical on his part to say that, these people are doing very well.
Let's hear him. Let's hear him. Okay, Alfred.
So can you leave me alone?
David, I was leave me alone.
Now listen, landing on what Doc was saying.
Yes.
You see, he came around all and said, and the leaders that are going to be elected on Saturday and everything, they should look at A, B, C, D. I was a little bit disappointed when they were going to sign the peace pact, and I didn't see a candidate being reprimanded for insulting and calling another candidate.
At the peace pact?
Yes. They should have brought into books.
You're sure that if they started that, you'd have signed that?
These are some of the things. I'm coming. These are some of the things that we get wrong.
Okay, now you're going to.
NEC should have come in.
I mean, that's your party. That's your party.
So these are some of the things that
I think you should write to the General Secretary.
Can I land, please?
Before you go to NEC, before you go to NEC, which is a real internal issue, there are 3 panel here. Let's have a fight on the
I'm landing here, then I'm done. You see, some of these things are things we take for granted. Over and over and over again, we've had attacks on one person. But we sit down and watch it because, it's one person, so let's keep cool. Then we go and sign a peace pact. And then we say that, and then one person will come out and say that, if I don't feel that I want to accept the results, I should not sign this.
Are you sure that if I brought a team member of the other party sitting here, would also not feel that another party also attacked them? It will go around and round and all of that.
Have you heard the candidate attacking the other party? No.
Anyway,
let me go. I'm talking about candidates.
So we will not be fair to Frimpong Boateng and his team.
But is he fair to the country?
Sitting here to be saying all kind of unprinted words about them.
Have they? I've not heard.
Who has said unprinted words about them?
And very uncomfortable descriptions about them.
Who has said that?
The 1992 Constitution is superior to everything we're discussing here. And in the 1992 Constitution, there is no provision, a categorical provision and definition of delegates in the 1992 Constitution. Let us all get it clear. The 1992 Constitution only provides. Can you please let me talk?
Please allow. Please allow.
Be gentle on this platform.
Even your party.
Alfred and Kofi.
Can you be gentle for
Alfred and Kofi. So beyond us having the conversation, there are viewers who would also take their conclusion.
Of course.
So how you feel about him? It's okay. No, I think because people are heckling.
No, we are not heckling.
If somebody,
they aren't heckling.
If somebody feel,
please let's hear him.
If somebody feel that he's heading towards the Supreme Court to seek redress and some clarifications about matters of this nature, why do we sit here and say all kind of things about them? The Supreme Court is superior and will be able to give interpretation to whatever things that they want. Of course, there are so many provisions in our constitutions that going forward we realize that were not things that will help the development of this country. And we've looked at it in the Supreme Court and so forth. And so you remember when the Supreme Court gave ruling that even a member presiding in Parliament have the right to vote? Yeah. That I still believe, in my own opinion, is wrong. But that is a provision that we have now as law. Okay. Again, listen, hold on. Please, you gave them a lot of time.
No. It's still on you. It's still on it. It's still on that.
So the point is this.
Yes.
The point is this. I am not for once saying that the delegate system should be abolished the way they want it to be looked at. But I'm saying we've been there before. And we knew what we saw when we got there. These gentlemen are back to it and they are going to the Supreme Court. Allow the Supreme Court to take decision. And I think it is a thing we all have to deliberate about. Because, you see, the Constitution gave everybody the right to vote. And that right is a fundamental right nobody can take away from anybody. So the point is this. If you argue that a lot of people do not vote when it's general election, it is not do not vote. It's about whether they have the right or not. So let's allow them go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court to give ruling. In as much as I'm not, endorsing either to let the delegate system go or not, I think it will not be fair for me to sit here when the Constitution itself did not make a categorical statement and endorse any definition of delegates.
It's dead on arrival.
So you cannot.
Alfred, do you hear his argument? Because both of you advanced one argument that, national voting, for example. Yeah. Everybody's got the right to vote.
The right is what...
That right is inherent. Yeah. It is when, at the point of you voting, that they look at you whether you're eligible.
So every party has a constitution. and the constitution of the party.
You see, no party's constitution is superior to the...
We are quiet to
That's true. That's very true.
When you say that,
all
it is
parties,
erroneous, because listen,
all parties, then you throw your constitution
exactly,
away.
the political,
throw your
this is the
constitution away.
constitution of Ghana, which recognize political parties.
Yeah.
All right.
But what's your problem anyway?
And allows the political
Are you the one paying their legal fees? Are you the one paying their legal fees?
Are you the one?
So what's your problem?
It's hypocritical.
So allow them to go to the Supreme Court.
It is hypocritical.
If you get up today and go to the Supreme Court, nobody's going to stop you.
With them. When in your own
so allow them to go.
It is not everybody who's allowed to choose your leaders.
Can we do
And I even
story,
cited that there's a national youth organizer who's going to be the representation of the youth at the national front. The chairman of the constituency doesn't get to vote for the national youth organizer. The secretary of the constituency and the regions and all those, it's just the youth organizers from the constituency level all the way to the national level who get to vote for one person.
Yes.
But
yes.
So
David, are you for the dismantling of the delegate system?
No
entirely?
And or no.
No.
Again.
But what's their business in court?
The point is this. The point is this. Whether I believe in scrubbing the delegate system or not has nothing to do with they are going to court.
It does.
No, me individual, my belief, my belief in that system have nothing to do with their belief and what they seek in court. Their fundamental right to go to court must be respected. And so you cannot sit here and say they are going to court on bogus issues. And oh no. Okay. The point is this. The point is this. The point is the quick one. Yeah. Just quick one. Just one. Just one. Please, every political party's regulations and rules that they set to govern them, not even single one can be superior to the 1992 Constitution.
No one has said that.
And so, if the 1992 Constitution itself did not make provision for delegates, don't denigrate people who decide to go to Supreme Court for interpretation. In as much as I don't support whether it should be scrapped or not, we cannot sit here and say what they're doing in the Supreme Court.
The political party's constitution.
Yeah. No, this constitution.
See, the constitution only made provision for formation.
All three of you are speaking. Should I call for a break?
No, you can't.
You have to trust my judgment in moderating.
Thank you.
Okay.
So let me come in here.
What are you quoting?
Can we deal with
different matters? The 1992 Constitution recognizes that there shall exist political parties.
Fair enough.
Okay. Now, the delegates, okay, we call them executives in our various political parties. Now, let me read Article 9 of the 1992 Constitution you're so dwelling on. The members of the National Executive Committee of a political party shall be chosen from all the regions of Ghana. So even the 1992 Constitution admits that there shall be a group of people, which is the Executive Committee. You understand my point? Now, let me also come here.
Read this.
Okay.
42,
listen,
the one
now, clause 16. Listen, the same constitution that he is saying that allows everybody to be part of organizations and all that. The constitution is very clear. A member of an organization or interest group shall not be required to join a particular political party by virtue of his membership of the organization or group. Even the constitution is saying that, even though you are a Ghanaian and all that, okay? If you have a certain religious attachment,
let's have one discussion, please.
Delegates, a religious attachment or anything, okay? You
allow them to go.
That is
why are you worried about this?
We
shouldn't be discussing
in national politics.
Let's talk about
religious attachment is also not.
Because whatever we say here will never influence the Supreme Court decision.
What we are telling Bondi is that at every point in time, there will be selected few to take decision on behalf.
I am saying that cannot be superior to the 1992 Constitution.
And your political party is guilty of that.
I think that by now viewers know where all the groups stand.
Yes,
let's go to Ayawa to East. Let's go to Ayawa to East. Would you like that?
Yes, I mean.
Would you like that?
First of all,
hang on.
You said, do I like that?
Would you all like that? We go to Ayawa to East.
Well, why not?
We move on.
And there is another very interesting. There's another very interesting thing.
It means that you are not full on the first matter.
I don't see.
No, not the first matter. I think we should let go the first matter.
The truth is that We are not discussing because we are telling them that they shouldn't go to court. Nobody is
No, we can't go to viewers have that discussion.
So what are we doing here?
We are discussing because we said this is what is on the table.
Exactly.
What do you think about it?
Exactly.
And we are
fair enough. I mean, don't worry about political comments. Okay, so I also East Bogon is in focus now.
Yes.
And it's interesting because we have, of course, the wife of the late MP wanted to represent that constituency. Yeah, and the idea is to continue what her husband started. Yeah. Another one that's
ambassador.
That's the ambassador as well. So he would like to drop the title Baba Jamal. He would like to drop the title Excellency and take on the title Honorable. Okay. I'll start with you, Kofi.
Oh, you should have started with them.
I'll start with Kofi.
There's another important issue.
So,
that you advertised.
There's
the Supreme Court dismissing.
We're on elections. We're on elections, so finish with the elections.
But that's also another.
I think we should deal with that one rather.
If you people allow moderation, we'll get there. Fine. Okay. If you don't, we won't get there.
What I want to say is that virtually political players like myself, politicians, we do this with our wives. All right. I mean, you are in the house, granting interviews to radio stations on phone, she's there. You are reading documents, and sometimes you are reading it aloud. Okay, she's there. You know, she knows you are out there, okay, campaigning and all that. And then when you come home, sometimes conversations center around what happened when you were out there. All right. So virtually, our wives, our girlfriends, and the women we are with as politicians become part of the game that we are in, all right? And so I have no qualms about wives and spouses of disease, what do you call it, political leaders, trying to replace them when they need a rise, okay? I'm sure whatever vision the man shared for the people of Ayawaso East, the wife might have been in the know, all right? I mean, if the man wanted to lobby for roads for, you know, a certain area, the wife might have been known. If the
CPP propaganda.
Where? This is reality. Fondi, are you saying as a married man?
Focus and say what you want to say.
Are you easily triggered like that?
I'm shocked.
I was hoping you would shut your ears. Now focus on me.
So what I'm saying is that when it comes to things like this, it boils down to competence. It boils down to capacity. All right. So first of all, does the woman qualify? Is she a Ghanaian? 18 years of sound mind. She is. Okay. I mean, that's 18 years and above. She can be a parliamentarian, right? Okay. So that is one. Number two, does the woman have the capacity to lead the people of Ayawaso East? Yes, she's well educated. She's blah blah blah. She fits into a certain shoe. And if the people of Ayawaso think that indeed this woman can represent us, why not? I mean, we've had instances before, okay, to reference to where spouses of deceased politicians have taken over the same seat, all right, and they did well. I mean, you can't say that they disgraced themselves or anything like that. So I don't have a problem. My problem is why an ambassador, okay, will descend all the way down to Ghana. Please allow me. This because look, Baba Jama has been a member of parliament before.
Yeah.
Fakultia?
Yeah, Fakultia.
Okay, this is not the first time.
Yes.
That's my point.
And the last time you contested at Ayawaso East.
Okay,
yeah,
fine. And the truth is that, okay, as ambassador, all right, you represent the
country over there.
In a foreign land. You understand? You're like a president of Ghana in that country, all right? And all of a sudden, you want to become an MP. What has he seen?
Choice.
No, it's not choice. Okay? In 2000...
But if you ask what has he seen, can you answer that question for him?
I might. In 2024, when a lot of MPP staffers and aides to people decided to run for parliamentary positions, something was clear.
What was that?
They were losing. And everybody wanted to place themselves at a certain place. You understand? They wanted some sort of...
Bring the point home.
They wanted some sort of security.
Okay. Bring the point home. Yes.
So my question is that, Baba Jama, Nigeria is a very big country. Your profile is a very high profile, all right? Then all of a sudden, you come back to Ghana and say that you want to be an MP. No. I'm not saying parliament. I'm not debating parliament. I'm not, no.
Stop parliament.
But
Don't focus on him.
Okay, fine. But I'm not degrading. No, let me say before I go to the Privilege Committee, okay? I'm not degrading parliament. But what I'm saying is that I'm just an ambassador. Okay?
David, behave.
The business communities, the investors in Nigeria, and everybody who wants to come into this country must pass through.
But you know what it means to be a high commissioner? You must have moved you and yourself and your everything to another country. If he feels more at home in Ghana, what's wrong with that?
Okay, if that is the case, then I'm surprised he hasn't resigned. If I'm going by your analogy.
No, I mean, because you have to make a choice. No, you have to present it with you.
But what I'm saying that she's saying that.
If he feels I don't, but if I'm in Ghana and I don't have a post.
Assumptions.
If I'm in Ghana and I don't have a post, I'm neither an MP and I'm neither an ambassador. You think that because I feel more at home is enough for me to resign being a high commissioner? No, we're talking about you presented with two options.
You raise a certain, what do you call it, concept?
In the concept of the fact,
yes,
in the
what I'm saying.
If when you ask him a question, he loses his thoughts a bit.
Yeah, so. Sometimes.
I'm sorry, it's your loss. I'm going to move to Alfred.
What I'm saying is that I haven't. What I'm saying is that. To me,
are you short?
Baba Jama should focus being an ambassador.
I think that's the crux of your argument.
Paint a certain picture of greediness.
Okay.
All right. I paint a certain picture of greediness.
Let's end it there.
Holding on to one position and still want to grab this.
Let's end it there.
It's very unfair.
Alfred.
I would say that I can't but wish them luck. Everyone has a right to stand for any position they want. Baba Jamal deems it fit that he wants to come and stand and become an MP. So be it. He's been to parliament before. He's been out of parliament. He couldn't win back a seat in Akotia. Severally, he's contested against the late MP on the ticket of Ayawaso East. He couldn't win. If this is the time for him to come and win the seat, so be it.
What does this tell? It tells a story of what a person desires and what a president as well sees in you that you can do, right? So these are two different things.
There are two different things because, yes, the president felt he was good to become an ambassador. He feels that, listen, I can come, I can be an MP, and maybe I could become a minister of state.
Is that not a stretch for you?
It's not. Whether he comes back or
not. No, because he could be a minister without being a member of parliament. Anyway.
But you see, because of the constitution now, and what goes in the...
Which of the constitution now?
The constitution, 1992 constitution. Because the referendum has not been done. So we are still using the constitution as it is.
I agree, and I'm saying that at the point that he became high commissioner, he could have lobbied to be a minister.
Once you've come out to state that I don't want to take more than 60 ministers, you are locked.
He could have been in the 60. This is my argument.
But they gave him an ambassador.
So now he wants to use...
At that time, they couldn't do this thing. They couldn't give him a ministerial position because they are locked. Even though now they have deputy ministers, regional ministers that they are calling them, organizers and things who have become their deputy, they call them presidential staffers. Yes. They call them presidential staffers, but we all know that they are deputy regional ministers because they didn't go for vetting. However, it comes back to the point that maybe he wants to become a minister. Maybe he wants to stay in parliament to secure, as my brother said, secure himself. Because in 2016, when we won elections, we said NDC was dead. We said, oh, that is the end of the Mahama and his era and the NDC. We got how many seats? But they came back in 8 years and they were able to win.
Okay.
Maybe what he is saying is that in 2028, the mere fact that Mahama is out of the system and there is a new person coming shows that they might lose the elections.
Okay.
Which is a possibility. So if they are going to lose, as they think that they want to destroy the NPP and make it a defunct party, which could not happen because NPP is a force that you always reckon with in Ghana politics. He feels that there could be a possibility of NPP coming. So let me try and fix myself so if anything should happen, I might not be the ambassador again. But if I'm in parliament, and that seat is a safe seat, to put it in quotes, a safe seat for NDC.
A few times he tried to be MP, NDC was not in power, were they?
Oh yeah, but he wanted to be MP.
So why do we stretch it that?
That is why I'm saying that he wants to be safe.
Okay.
That's why he's going in for a safe seat at the moment.
Okay.
It's an insurance for him. He's going in for a safe seat at the moment. So once he's able to secure that slot and becomes, the MP, NDC go, NDC come, he's still an MP.
Well, luckily, NDC is here. If you won't take it from the CPP or the NPP and the arguments, the person who belongs to that political party will then speak. But Alfred, I know that you have to leave at some point.
Yeah.
And so you can take leave of us. Unfortunately, you won't be able to take a bite on the OSP matter, but another time.
OSP, I leave it to him.
Okay, you leave it to him.
Can you ask one day, given ambassadorial position and I'm which one you choose?
You see, on the OSP matter,
I like that.
On the OSP matter, he says Ankra Noma and
the neck crab Ofori-Atta. That was then. My name says the neck crab
Ofori-Atta. Supreme Court.
David, let me hear from you so that we'll release Alfred later.
Once more to the family. I mean, you know, of my very good friend, a member of parliament who was
straight to the point.
Discharging his duties so well, and unfortunately, he lost his life in that very painful manner. I mean, we all would have wished that we'll come back to Parliament when Parliament resumed to see our brother. Unfortunately, he's going to stay with his maker, and God knows best. And so, my condolence to the entire NDC family again. Now, I hope I will be able to handle this matter properly.
We are with you.
The NDC fraternity, the number of people who voted for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama are more than almost 7 million, right? Almost, right? And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, will need to satisfy every individual, whether you vote for him, you voted for him or not. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, either directly or indirectly, will need to satisfy everybody. It is my prayer and hope that the NDC members, of which I'm included, we will all understand that we cannot be fighting for two positions at the same time.
Thank you.
Somebody, for example, is holding on to one position and would want to go for another position, to have two. When we have millions of people who are waiting to be appointed, who are waiting to be assigned, who are waiting to get part of the cake that we all fought for. It is my opinion and my prayer that the NDC members will see wisdom in the fact that in this difficult time of sharing position, because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama meant well for this country, he said he wanted only 60 ministers. And for the first time, a president is delivering on his promise. It is a plus to all of us, the NDC people, that our president is living to his promise. And that if you are given a position, I think that we have so many more people who need to be appointed and need to be sorted out. And that when you have a position, you hold on to that position and not wanting to go and fight for another position in addition to what you have. Now, I know that in my brother Baba's issue, Baba will automatically have to resign as an ambassador if he so wins the election to become the member of parliament. I know that. Okay? So what it means is that if Baba wins the election, Baba is not going to have two positions. He's not going to be the member of parliament and also the ambassador. Baba would have to let go one of the position. So that should go to all members of the NDC who are seeking to get double position that they should either let go one and maintain what they wish for. Again, if Baba want to contest the elections, he would definitely let go the ambassadorial position and want to pursue his political dream as a member of parliament. I have no problem whatsoever with that because that is his rights as an individual and as a party member. Then another leg of the issue, which I hope and pray that we will look at in a more, if you like, moral, sense.
I like the fact that you say you hope and pray we look at it with a more moral lens, because not everybody's got morals anyway, so
That's
you can't demand it from everybody.
a situation where a member of parliament is diseased, dead, and there is some level of pressure on the widow to go replace him. I am a little concerned about it. We saw it in Mankasim, right? Yes. When the member of parliament was killed, shot, and the widow was asked to replace him.
I mean, in a number of cases, and they seem to win as well.
I am saying that, and sometimes the widows, they themselves do not want to go. They do not want to. But the political parties, believing that the sympathy of a widow, crying to the people, may work for the political party, they try to put the widows, and it works for them. I am saying that this time around, it is my prayer and hope that the widow herself willingly want to contest the seat.
And she's not being coerced to.
That's my prayer. But that practice is worrying, where it is becoming a convention that when a member of parliament dies, one way or the other, you remember the Ayawasu was wagon?
Lydia, yeah.
Well, Lydia will have to. I mean, that convention.
You call her bloody widow.
That convention opens these vulnerable widows up for all political, because in politics, there are serious words that will be used in there, very serious ones. Don't forget, people may even be throwing tantrums and making all kind of
people are okay because maybe it doesn't define
pronouncements them. That you want to be member of parliament. That is why.
But did you see the argument that Kofi advanced earlier that who best continues a person's legacy? Who
I
best?
am saying
than the person who shared the bed.
Automatically, it is not always the wife of a member of parliament. It is not.
Exactly.
It is not always a member of parliament's wife who knows how to continue the member of parliament's legacy. I am saying that sometimes we open these widows to all kind of political vilifications and all kind of political attack, all kind of campaign heat and all that. Your husband died not long ago, and then we're pushing you to go and take all these things. For me,
so for you, you're okay. The person is not being pushed.
Hold on.
Takes the decision.
Can I have my time?
You've had a lot of time.
So hold on. You are not the moderator.
Today, it is their house matter.
You are not the moderator. So hold on. I am saying that if the widow, she herself, willingly believes she wants to continue, because she's an NDC member of a very good standing. That's what's very important. And she want to contest.
They'll be vetted today, so we'll know.
Want to contest, that's fine. But it is my prayer that she's not been pushed to contest. Hold on, that's not your question to answer. To contest.
He's a politician.
Because...
Let's credit the woman.
Can I?
The woman.
Hello?
All right. But in fact,
I'm interested in one thing. Kofi, do you not have to start timing you? You speak a lot. Don't be unfair. David, please land.
The point I'm making is that the convention that we are establishing in this country, that once a member of parliament is dead in the course of his duty, automatically the wife must succeed him.
Who's it automatically?
It is a situation that we need to look at. Because I don't think it's a very healthy situation. Sometimes, like I said, we need to ask ourselves whether the wife of that MP is even
It's not what the vetting committee will do.
Hold on. Is even interested. This is politics you don't understand. Is even interested in contesting. Again, when you look at Lydia's case, for example, in the heat of the election, you saw all the things that were thrown at her.
Who took
a woman with blood at her hands and all that. These are women we need to protect. These are vulnerable, you know.
But do we give credit to women to know that they know what they want? They can't be pushed. They can't be coerced. They can take the decision. I am a wife, but I can do this.
And that is why I issued a disclaimer in my statement that once she herself decide willingly to contest, that must not be hinged on the fact that it is the husband that is dead and that is why she must succeed the husband.
I think that's clear.
I don't think that convention we are establishing is good for our democracy, because that is the trajectory I'm seeing, and that is what is happening. But the way, I wish all of them
the best.
Well, and the best. May the best candidate win the primaries and wins the seat for the NDC.
Okay. Kofi, what's your pushback here?
I wish all of them well.
What's your pushback here? We're moving to the OSP. What's your pushback?
Quickly, before I even touch on the OSP, let's not paint the picture that women who have tried to continue the legacy of their husbands who were in political office but passed away were one way or the other coerced or were pushed into it. All right. I mean, let's credit the women. These are people who are educated. These are people who are 18 years and above of sound mind and can decide for themselves. The issue of Fantiakwa, what's her name? I've forgotten the name. The lady, the policewoman who became a member of parliament.
Yeah.
And this was a police officer, all right, who knew what she was about. The issue of Lydia, okay? Lydia is a businesswoman. Now, he's talking about vilification. Who vilified her? Who called her bloody widow and all those things? So if you have anything, it's your party you advise. I am not sure.
The advice is, I mean, the advice is in the air. Whoever is supposed to take it should take it. But the point is that
they are guilty of that, all right? Okay? What I'm saying is that I'm not sure anybody in Ayawaso East is pushing this woman. I mean, you've seen her credentials, all right? And the things, she's done.
But he was quick to add, Kofi, to be fair, he was quick to add that once it is the woman's decision, they have decided, they've thought.
And he was also quick to add that it is becoming
because those two options, exist. Okay, it's not automatic, but
exactly.
So long as they're not being coerced.
Go through a process, all right? If it's automatic, then it means that she's the sole candidate. Then this is presented.
He also mentioned convention. We have a report. In fact, but for time I would have pulled that report, you'd have realized that it can become a near convention if it's not a convention yet, where most sitting members of parliament, when they pass on, it's the wives that take over. Because there haven't been many of it that has happened anyway.
Don't forget that when things like this happen, there's a delegate system, all right? The person who is deceased
went as if you are not a politician.
All right? To get the endorsement of what they call the electorate. All right. So the wife is also going to go through the process. She's going to compete Baba Jama.
I mean, of course.
So now, but the point is that, you see, Gondi, if this is I like the fact that you support me in the fact that you cannot be holding on to two portfolios. You're a member of parliament. I want you to send a message to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
That
most of his appointees are still holding party positions. All right? There's a difference between government and the party. The party forms government, and the government becomes for the people of Ghana. You understand my point?
Is that the same situation for Baba Jama? Baba Jama is
No, I'm not even going. It's not Baba Jama.
Okay, you have extended the request.
He has agreed with me. You understand?
But that request is different from what you're about to ask him to do.
No, but
the people holding party positions are not the same as people holding government positions.
So what I'm saying is... No, but wait. What I'm saying is that he is talking about people holding on to two portfolios, okay? Which I pointed out as what do you call it, quotation marks, as greed. You understand my point? There are people who can work for the party, okay? and there are people in government now. As I speak to you, a lot of their party executives are in government, and they are still doing party work. Meanwhile, there are a lot of party people who are willing to take over. You understand? I don't want to mention names, but portfolios like communications, the youth front, and all those people are in government, but they're still holding on to that position. Now,
okay, please note, and let's go to the OSP. We're spending 2 minutes on OSP. A minute for you, a minute for David.
As a country.
A minute for you, a minute for David.
2 for me, okay, 1 for you. As a country, we must decide. As a country, we must be very clear in our minds whether it is the OSP as a person we don't like or the office of the OSP that we don't like. Because sometimes I wonder whether we are the same people, the same kind of people who said we want accountability, we want to fight corruption and all that. I wonder if we are the same people. Because what brought about this OSP? We all came to the agreement that certain people get into government, become involved in corruptions and all that, and because their party is in government or their government is in power, they cannot be searched, they cannot be investigated and all that. So we need to create a special independent office, devoid of that of the Attorney General, even though under the supervision of the Attorney General, so that that person may have the confidence, a secure tenure of office and confidence to prosecute people like this. We've done that. What we are seeing is that this special prosecutor and previous ones have been verified by both sides. Martinamidu, those days, okay, the money we're giving to him for his office.
What we are talking about.
But we are talking about OSP.
Yeah, but that is not what
we are talking about. Okay, so
I think he chose which part of the OSP that he wants, which is fine. Well, except that you have the time
to deliver the
somebody. Wait. What about the ruling?
Well, of course, there's some parts of the mandate that Mr. Ephraim Adamte is in court seeking.
Exactly.
That one, he says that Section 4. That's the independence of the special prosecutor. He also says Section 33, such as seizure of tainted properties, as to whether this part of his mandate should be there or not. And that in that court, the Supreme Court has not even decided on that yet. It's the fact that the special prosecutor wants to be part of it, and the court is
what do you call it? I've forgotten the term they use. If you accuse me. Okay, it's only fair that you allow me to say my side of the story.
No, but the Attorney General, what will be the Attorney General's role? But anyway,
wait.
No, accusing.
The
time is up, unfortunately. Time, Nasa. Let me have it. David, please go on. Unfortunately, we'll deal with this. We'll deal with this later.
The Apex Court delivered a very excellent ruling on the matter, whether or not Kisi Ejabin has the capacity to join the case or not.
Is it Kisi Ejabin or the OSP?
OSP.
So the office.
Hold on. You see, the 2017 Act, the Act 2017 Act 959 that established the OSP, of course, was the Parliament of Ghana that established the OSP. It is not a private company. Hold on, my brother. It is not a private institution. So once it was established by Parliament, it is now a Republic of Ghana institution. Now the only lawyer, the only representative legally that can stand in for that authority is the Attorney General's Department. So the OSP has no capacity in joining that suit. And I think that delivery was excellent and was on point. And I think I must applaud the Supreme Court for delivering that particular judgment.
Okay.
The
OSP, no debate then. We're done.
Kisi Ejabin is just an employee of that institution. And the constitutionality of that institution's establishment cannot be determined, and OSP has no jurisdiction over determining
what was the independence the OSP is supposed to have.
Why
we'll hear that. We'll hear that when the Supreme Court
disagree whether we want the OSP.
We'll go. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much for today.
This program is an intellectual program.
Thank you so much. We'll continue. We'll continue the OSP conversation next week. But we're joined by Dr. Asa Sanse, lecturer and head of European Studies at the University of Ghana, and as well as Ofori-Atta, National Communications Director of the CPP. David Bondi is Member of Parliament, Chifu Timokwa, and Alfred Thompson, NPP Communications Team. Please stay. There's more on the show. Well, thank you for staying with us. This is the AM show, and it's sponsored by Shield, Silicon Paste from Azar Group, Syntex Pipes, and Time Herbal Mixture. Now, immigration law can be complex, and navigating visas, work permits, residency, and citizenship rules can be really tricky for anyone moving across the borders. Now, today we're joined by Angela Moore, an experienced immigration lawyer, to help us understand the nuances of immigration law, the rights of migrants, and common pitfalls to avoid. You want to stay with us, and especially Angela, because the conversation came to the fore when our former finance minister, or deportation, extradition, and all of that. We thought that why not? You made a few posts, and we said, people think they understand immigration law, but not that much. So this is free consultation. After here, you have to pay to see Angela. It's good to have you, and thank you for joining us in studio.
Nice to be here.
Are you enjoying Ghana?
I am loving it.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Very much. Tell us generally about immigration law. A lot of people have heard about it, but they don't know when it really comes to play. What exactly is immigration law?
So, thank you for the platform. I am an immigration lawyer. I am Ghanaian. I'm also American. I've been practicing immigration law for the past 13 years exclusively. So I feel like I'm well positioned to be able to educate our people on immigration law and some of the ways that they can make things easier for themselves when they embark on this journey. Obviously, the immigration laws for different countries, not different for the United States, is to help people navigate their ways into migrating. Sometimes temporarily and sometimes permanently, right, in terms of green cards and such applications. And so the thing to note about the U.S. immigration law is that it's complex.
Is it?
Very complex. To put it in perspective, when I went to the United States, I was already an attorney here, called to the Ghana Bar. But because I hadn't been issued my own law license in the United States, I needed the services of an immigration attorney in the United States to help me to make the right decisions in being able to attain my citizenship. So it's not something that you can just read and do. You know, everybody has their field of expertise. And I think especially in immigration law, it's highly relevant that you retain the services of an immigration law attorney. It is going to frame or form the foundation for your entire existence, you know, in the United States. So why take the chance?
Right, and so why is it so important? So if I took you, Angela, as my immigration lawyer, I mean, I understand continuity of cases and all of that, but why is it important that I return you?
Really good question. So a lot of people mistakenly think that immigration attorneys complete forms. And so they look on the USCIS website. Of course, the forms are free. You can type and then print, or you can even print in ink. And they think, well, of course I can do this. But that's not the role of an immigration law attorney. My job is to anticipate some of the issues that you can encounter down the road based on your immigration history, so that I can present your case in a way that would, you know, preempt some of these things and even avoid them if at all possible, or minimize the risks to you.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people travel outside the country, work, visit, and even permanent residency. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury anymore for permanent residency. What does that even mean? Explain to people what Trump meant when he said that.
So, you know, he is really, really trying to cram down on lawful permanent residency. They think there's just too many people of other countries in their country and they're taking jobs. All of that is false, obviously, but it's a narrative that they're trying to perpetuate. And it seems to be working well, at least for certain portions of the American public. But for now, what he's done is to place a pause. Okay. Which means that if you petitioned for, let's say, your spouse or your child or your parent, for them to be able to get green cards, they can go through the process. They can submit their documents, they can do their taxes, you know, the taxes that we submit to the embassies to make sure that you are able to support yourself in the United States. You can go through all the process and even be interviewed, but the visas would not be issued yet.
Oh my dear, okay.
You know, which
people travel, and in your years of experience, what's some of the common mistakes that every time maybe you have a potential client or a client sitting in front of you, you're like, oh God, not again. Same, most common mistakes that we do.
So I serve a lot of communities, a lot of countries. Because I'm in Ghana, I'll speak to the mistakes that I think our people make when they come. Typically, they would come on a visa and then decide, oh, I love it here. I want to stay. Okay, well, a little mistake, but not much. And then they talk to people who are not attorneys. They talk to people who are not immigration law attorneys. And then they purport to direct their path into how they can get legal status. Huge mistake. Many of them enter into marriages too early, too quickly.
Why? Is it one of the most potent ways?
It is one of the most potent ways. And it is one of the fastest ways. And it's one of the most commonly known ways. Not the only way. There are several other ways. But that's what our people know. So you see somebody come in with a visa, 3 months later, they have divorced their spouse that was here in Ghana, and then they are already married. We know that naturally that's not how people move with their lives, you know. If you got recently divorced, you want to take your time and make sure you don't make the same mistakes again. But then with our people, you see them married immediately, and then they file immediately, and they don't have much. And then when they get called for interviews, maybe the spouses refuse to accompany them to interviews or produce documents that are relevant to their cases. And some of them just abandon the process completely. And therein comes ICE. That's why our people, some of our people find themselves in trouble with the current enforcement with ICE, because they already may have a removal order because they didn't really follow through with the process.
Okay. I mean, a lot of people are hearing ICE for the first time, but they existed yet. I mean, I'll say ICE is America. America is ICE, honestly. But because of how now they've been very intense with their mandate, would you say that a lot of Ghanaians have fallen prey to it? Are you getting a lot of people calling in because of this ICE situation? And what will be your role in that? Yeah.
Thank you. I'm getting a lot of calls from Ghanaians with respect to this. As I stated earlier, most of them are in certain situations with ICE because they have a history that now places them in the spotlight, so to speak, as far as ICE enforcement is concerned. Because if you've already missed a court interview, for instance, you have a final order of removal. Now, let me explain this myth, or kind of try to bust it a bit. People think that when you're detained by ICE, which by the way means Immigration and Customs Enforcement for US, they think that when you're detained, that you will be deported. It doesn't necessarily track that path, okay? Sometimes you are detained, and then that actually opens an opportunity for you to get your legal status fixed, because there are some benefits that you can only apply for when you are in deportation proceedings or when you're facing removal. For some of our Ghanaians, though, because they didn't follow through with the process and already had removal orders, when ICE detains them, they no longer have the option to apply for any of these benefits.
Okay.
And because there is already a final order of removal, then they are removed.
Let's take it back. What does it look like when they say that ICE has picked you up, or what's the process? So you're in your house, you're on the street somewhere, somehow, a van parks, you see ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, what, they cuff you? Do they question you? What's the process like?
I think that it really depends on where they apprehend you. There are people who are actually in ICE buildings where they are detained. I think some of the handcuffing and things like that are just for the theatrics of it and the drama of it. Typically, they shouldn't cuff you. But they would detain you, which means you are not free to leave. Depending on where they pick you, they may keep you in state or they may transfer you to another state where they have the nearest detention center. Because they will house you sort of like a prison or jail of some sort. You'll be issued a number which we call the alien number or A number. It is nine numbers, usually now starting with 21 something something and the rest of it. And that's how you'll be identified. And then they will process you, look at your whatever property you brought in, note it down, everything. And now they wait for you. They have to wait for a next hearing date for you, but you can move faster than how they move if you hire an immigration law attorney.
Okay. At what point should you hire an immigration attorney? Is it when they have picked you up?
Immediately. Up. I mean, you would not have the opportunity to hire an immigration law attorney because you will be detained. Now you need family. Family must act quickly.
Is it that when you're detained, certain rights are taken away from you? You can't ask that I need to see a lawyer, I need to make a phone call. You don't have all those rights available to you?
You do have the rights. So you can make the phone calls, but they have to take you to a certain space where you can make those phone calls. Your family will be able to make these calls much faster than you can. Because once they know where you're being detained, they can reach out to an attorney who does detention work in that center, so that by the time you're there, they can already be talking about bond. They would have given them any previous immigration documents that you have, so that the lawyer can have a bond packet ready and maybe make a motion for a bond hearing. What's a bond packet? So a bond packet hearing is typically the documents that you need to submit to the judge, so that the judge can make a determination whether you should be released on bond or not.
The last time I checked the data, it's almost as if when you're in ICE detention, your chances of being deported are so higher than you staying. Is this a myth? It was true.
Let me tell you one of the main reasons why that happens. People are not used to jail. Okay, and so in a lot of instances, people say, you know what, let me sign on this dotted line and let me leave. Because suddenly you find yourself in this space where you're sleeping on a bunk bed, where you've been told to shower here and eat this food. That's a very unreal experience for a lot of people, and sometimes they just opt to leave.
Okay. So the numbers we see, the high level of deportation we see, if people just had the patience and went through, which means that you should have an immigration lawyer at hand already.
Well, that would be in the real world, ideally. Ideally, right? That would be an ideal situation, but I don't think most of us have, lawyers just that we are paying a retainer for just in case I get picked up one day. So most people would not have the luxury of that, but what you can do is don't sign any document that you don't understand. Okay, don't provide any answers to questions that you're not sure what the implications are, and then find an attorney. Let your family find an attorney immediately. That will give you the best chance of getting out of detention and hopefully even with lawful status.
How long are you supposed to be in ICE detention before you're arranged to see an immigration judge or arranged to visit an immigration court?
It really depends on the size of the detention center and the number of people they are holding. Typically, within 2 weeks, they should schedule you to see the immigration judge to begin to do some procedural things. Okay, is there a reason why you should continue to be 15th? Okay, so your period of authorized stay has already expired. And yes, that is one area where it will fall under the purview of ICE enforcement and compliance with immigration rules.
An area that people won't forgive me if I don't ask you would be some of the things you said when Arise Ghana started the protest. It was quite indefinite, but luckily they have stopped. Yes. They have said that if the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. representatives here in Ghana will assure them that they can help expedite the extradition process.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure how that can be possible.
Yeah.
First of all,
to the judge that, okay, here, don't grant bond because this person has a request. But the bond hearing or the immigration court issues will be handled by the immigration judge. Extradition requests would not be handled by the immigration judge, but rather would be subject to review by another judge. So when you are here talking to a diplomatic mission about issues that don't fall within their jurisdiction or their operational manual, yeah, it may look good to the optics, but it doesn't really do much.
What interpretation should we put to the request by the current immigration judge who is overseeing the former finance minister's bond pact, I should say, that he'd like to see the extradition request that Ghana has made?
Asked to see the extradition request. I suspect that it's probably because he was inclined to grant bond, and because of this request, he held back his decision and wants to see, okay, let me see what the extradition request entails and see that informs my decision in any way, whether to grant bond or not.
Back to Ghana, you talked about diplomacy. Apart from the optics of it, Arise Ghana, they're quite sure, they're certain that, well, it'll be in the news. Officials in the U.S. would see that this person is a person of interest.
Yes.
This is what it means to us if you deport the person back to Ghana. Barring the extradition request and focusing on the deportation, would it mean anything at all?
I would say this. The U.S. immigration system runs on the U.S. immigration laws. Okay, we don't change it, or they don't change it because of protests. I know that there are certain circumstances in which some pressure can be brought to bear on governments or institutions to act quickly and maybe try to steer them in one direction or the other. But I will tell you this, he would go through the same process as everybody else.
Regardless.
Regardless.
Okay. I'm quite interested in how persons seeking asylum or on humanitarian basis, how the immigration laws will treat them. Does it treat them differently?
So they don't treat them differently. Obviously, the grounds for applying for asylum are very peculiar. They're unique to that. First, you must show that there is some past persecution or future persecution that you can face on some protected grounds, such as political, religious, or something special about you that makes you unique, so that you'll be more targeted than other people. Let's say if Mr. Ofori-Atta was inclined to pursue immigration, maybe he could say political. Now, just because somebody can make an asylum claim or filing doesn't necessarily mean it will be approved. In fact, they're very difficult to win. The thing, though, is the bond issue is still outstanding. If the judge were to grant the bond because he finds him to be not a flight risk and somebody that would appear for his hearings from outside of detention center, he could pursue asylum with that, but it will be on a non-detained docket. Okay. So now he's on the detained docket. His case will move to a non-detained docket and possibly before a new judge.
You want to break down what a non-detained docket means?
So, docket is obviously the case load that the judges use. Detained docket will be cases for people who are detained. So that's the one that's the one in simple terms. You're detained, you're on the detained docket. You are not detained, you're on the non-detained docket. Okay. And so you go to court and then you go home. Or sometimes it could even be video call. WebEx is one of the ways that they are using. I think Mr. Ofori-Atta's was WebEx, and then other people try to get in, and so now it's being held in camera. But it's one that a lot of people use.
Of course, there's another extradition conversation in the fore about Sedinata Maklo. But my area of focus that I want to get clarity on would be the U.S. Marshals. When I think of the U.S. Marshals, what should come to mind? Now I understand typically what the ICE would be.
Yeah.
But what shall I think about the U.S. Marshals?
So they are more on the criminal side of things. They can come if there's a federal charge against you that, maybe it could be, because federal, in the United States, there's state and then there's federal. So you can commit a crime in the state, but because of the components of the crime, federal government may decide to to be a part of it. For instance, if you use the interstate while you're committing the crime, they can say, well, you're on a federal highway, and therefore we have a much stronger, much robust federal prosecution team, and we would rather prosecute you under that. And so that's where the U.S. Marshals are coming, more for the federal government enforcement of certain criminals.
So for a former public official like Senator Tamaklo, who we understand that was picked up by the U.S. Marshals, as well is waiting for extradition processes or even deportation processes. The nuances are quite detailed. So what? The Marshals can pick you up, and if your challenge is quite immigration, they then will hand you over to ICE. Is this it?
Yes, they could. So you could be with the U.S. Marshals, and then they decide to put you in immigration. I will tell you, though, that if you are in the custody of U.S. Marshals, it means they want you for issues more serious than immigration. And so most likely immigration will defer to them unless, they consider that, okay, we can have immigration handle that, issue a deportation order, and then we would now pick you up and pursue the other course of action. But I typically, there are even in some instances where you're charged with a crime, and then immigration picks you up, and then they release you to other agencies because they think that those people will deal with you more in the path that they want to. Yeah.
Let's talk about people who definitely want to travel to the U.S.
Yes.
If not temporal, but for permanent residency. I know that there's a temporal pause on it, but where should they start from? Where should you start from?
So the pause, let me say this again. The pause is for immigrant visas, not for non-immigrant visas, which will be the typical B1, B2 tourist visas. There's no pause yet. There is some delay. There's more scrutiny to make sure that people that are issued those visas are likely to go on a temporary visit and come back to Ghana or to their respective home countries. So if you want to apply for a non-immigrant visa, tourist, it's still available. You can apply. Okay. And I know in the case of the World Cup, they're saying that they want to process these quite quickly. The rules will not change, okay? You still must show that you're going to visit and come back. So things like, if they ask you, when are you coming back? Well, think about it. No, it's not going to work, okay? You have to tell them, I'm going to watch soccer, and then I'm going to come back.
But for the other ways that people want to travel, not for the B1, B2, but for permanent residency, where should people, I know that people like to use routes that may not be safe for you to want to discuss on TV, but if a person is thinking of, relocating from Ghana to a place like the US, where should they start? Beyond you wanting to call Angela, where should they start?
The first place to start cannot be beyond. They should call an attorney. So they need to talk to an immigration law attorney, and everybody's, immigration law is very fact specific. Everybody's circumstances could be different. But generally, there are investor visas. If you are wealthy, you have money, and you want to create jobs for people in the United States, they have categories of that, and that will also give you a green card. Short of that, honestly, while you're outside of the country, the options are quite limited, except for, where if a spouse is applying for you, or your parent is applying for you, or your child who is a U.S. citizen is applying for you. But it's very important that you seek the counsel of an attorney.
The crux of this conversation is you should seek the counsel of an immigration lawyer. Let me spend the last 5 minutes with you, getting to know you better. You say that you're both Ghanaian and American. Which part of Ghana are you from?
So I'm a Ghana.
You speak Ghana?
You're a Gawa.
Oh, you're a Gawa. Okay, and what, you were born here and then you had your legal education here in Ghana?
Yes. I was born here, I schooled here, I went to University of Ghana, and then I went to Ghana School of Law. I was called to the bar in 2002. So I think 23 years at the bar, going on 24. Geez,
that's a lot.
Test.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Which secondary school did you attend here in Ghana?
So O-level, I went to Salem Secondary School in Osu.
Okay.
For sixth form, I went to Infansiman. Go Purple.
Congratulations once again.
Yeah.
So when I was telling somebody that I'll be speaking to an immigration lawyer, and she's been called to the bar for a little over 20 years, she says, is it the same lady? Please ask her, how old is she?
Oh, my goodness.
She just told you that she has twins. I mean, a lot of women don't like to tell their age, but would you like to?
No, I wouldn't like to. Let's just say I'm matured
enough to help you through your immigration issues.
Yes, and still young at heart enough to not make it too tough. You know, I know how to lighten the mood and make it interesting.
I can see that. Where in America can people find you? People all over the world are streaming today, and maybe people didn't think that they needed an immigration lawyer. But at the end of this conversation, I like to think they know that
clients based on referrals. But I have 2 offices, one in Tennessee and one in Georgia.
Okay.
But of course, you know, with immigration law in the United States, if you have license to practice in one state, you can practice all across the United States. So I have clients in New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, also in Georgia, and so many other places that I am yet to even go visit. So if you're in the United States and you have an immigration law problem, I am the
websites we can visit to get more information?
Yes, so, well, my website is in Spanish, but it translates into English, but it's www.abogadaangela.com. I would put it in so that they can see. But you can find me on social media, Facebook, JJ Moe and Associates. I'm very active on social media. My team is very robust. I have a huge team. I even have some people. So if you get detained, please do not sign any document. I think it's absolutely important that you don't sign any document. Next thing to do, ask to speak to a lawyer, okay? And also get your family to find you somebody immediately. Start putting together your immigration documents. It's going to become very important because remember when I said that immigration is fact specific. So your history will determine your future, so to speak, when it comes to immigration law. So start putting some documents together now that you know these things are coming up, so that in the event you get detained, your family is not now scrambling to find, okay, where's the passport, where's this and such and that, because that would make it much easier for you to get out of detention with a bond if you can find your documents.
Okay, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Really pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed
watching the AM show. Please stay this morning. Thank you for staying with us. We're nearly wrapping the show, but let's talk about Drone Ignite program. And joining us this morning is Stephen Kakari. He's Director, Drone Ignite Africa. Kate Abaka-Konsa is Event Lead, Drone Ignite Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in studio.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Tell me about Drone Ignite Africa Festival before you tell me about the program.
All right. So Africa has seen a surge in emerging technologies. We've seen a lot of innovation in this space, and it's an exciting time. So we've created this platform, Drone Ignite Africa, to really hone on and put a spotlight on drones, AI, and robotic technologies. It's a 2-day conference. It's happening on the 10th and the 11th of February at the Kempinski Hotel. That's for day 1. And also, there will be a live demonstration and an exhibition on day 2 at the Athletic Oval at the University of Ghana.
So people will just be working there, they'll see drones flying. Is that what it means? Okay, we'll get to that. But Kate, you have just been telling me the growth and emergence of high technology. But what problem has it caused? What are we fixing? What gap are we closing?
Okay, so for Drone Ignite Africa, we realized that in Africa, most of the time we are doing things in disconnect for the technologies that we are using for drones, especially. People in Ghana, for instance, we realize that people are just doing things anyhow. They don't get their licensing. They don't. They're just.
Why to fly a drone, you need a license?
Yes, you need to be licensed by GCA,
Absolutely.
Ghana Civil Aviation Authority.
Absolutely.
And so we are trying to bring that platform so that there can be policy makers, there can be innovators, there can be regulators on board, so as to guide the narrative, right? And so people can do things right. And also with funding, right now there are lots of startups, drone, AI, and robotic startups in Africa, and they don't know their way forward to funding. And so that's what we are doing.
Okay, but Stephen, is this the first one, or have you had it before? Is that what triggered you to start Drone Africa? What?
No, so we identified this gap. I think as my colleague mentioned, we're trying to create or have this platform and let it be a converging point. Even though there's a gap there between like innovators, a gap there for people, development partners, people with capital who actually want to invest in these spaces. We're trying to bring the whole industry into the spotlight, take them out of the shadows, so that people can actually see the real world impact that these technologies are actually having in various areas of our economy.
Okay. Yeah. Kate, you can have all the fine ideas, but if you don't have support, who is making sure that this event happens?
So obviously, Drone Ignite Africa has support from the Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Technology. We have support from Ghana Civil Aviation and Regulators. We also have support from West Africa, Access Drone Service. We have some drone companies in Ghana, actually. So we have Access Drone Service, we have Soko Aerial, we have Drone Hub. So these are the people we have support from. Okay,
I see that University of Ghana, so Lancaster University, all these people are as well.
Yes, they are helping us, especially with the day 2. They have been gracious enough to support us in that regard. I think Minerals Commission of Ghana too is also on board, also helping to push their agenda. So these are the guys who are actually powering us for this event. Yeah.
Kate, I'll come to you for how people can be part. But Stephen, what's the long-term goal for this? After this event, what next? Okay,
looking into the future, we are really looking at having or cementing Drone Ignite Africa as the event, the tech advancement event of choice. We're looking to move beyond even the borders of Ghana, really establish a regional presence where innovators across the continent can actually gather, and African can have a voice when it comes to some of these emerging technologies, so that we are not left in the background.
Okay, but who can be part? How can we be part, participate?
So for Drone Ignite, you can come as a delegate, an exhibitor or a sponsor. So to get your delegate tickets, you can use the short code *713*33*360#. I'll take it again. *713*33*360#. You can also call our numbers on 0547197671 or visit our website www.droneigniteafrica.com. And you get all the information. Reach us. We'll be happy to have you.
If you're very old school and very traditional like me, you like to call. I want to call and talk to somebody.
Yes, absolutely. We are ready to have you. Day 2 is going to be very interesting. You are going to see drones flying. You are going to see drones in real life. I mean, touch it, know the applications to it. It's going to be very fun. University of Ghana Athletic Oval with the University of Ghana SRC.
Let me break it down again. So day 1, how is day 1 looking like?
So day 1 is more like a high level panel discussion. We'll have people in the industry who are actually using these technologies coming in to actually show the solutions that they are providing. And day 2 is more so open to the general public. We want people to actually have a feel, come and see for yourself. You know, you hear of these things every now and then, especially in advanced countries. Come to the Athletic Oval University of Ghana campus. When
I come, I'm not a licensed drone fly person. I don't have a license to fly, but would you allow me to fly?
Oh, no. So
you are going to see them fly.
Exactly.
You're like that, just in my chair.
But we'll have simulations.
Okay, what does that mean?
Come again.
What does that mean?
So it's more of like...
So we're
having like
So it's more like a 3D simulation. So you are put in a position where you're able to use some of the drones, but it's more like in a software interface.
Do you allow me to press something, Cry, so that they will fly?
Yeah, you know.
Kids, try for me small. But anyway.
That's like maybe for you consider.
Okay, what date again is this happening?
10th and 11th February.
Okay.
Yes, 10 starts at 9 a.m. at Kempinski Gold Coast City Hotel.
Okay.
And the 11th starts at 10 a.m.
Okay. Stephen and Kate, thank you for joining us, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much.
Well, this is how we wrap the show for today. Well, I'll go for a quick break before I come and say bye-bye, so stay. Well, thank you for staying. Before I say bye, a gentle reminder that as an employee, do you know that every month your employer must pay your pension contributions to your pension scheme? Did you know this? Well, the employer contributes 13% of your basic salary, whilst the employee contributes 5.5%. This makes a total of 18.5%. Now, this 13.5% goes to Tier 1, but only 11% is invested on your behalf by SNID, whilst 2.5% is paid to the National Health Insurance Scheme. This allows contributors to the SNID scheme to access healthcare services under National Health Insurance Scheme without paying a premium, and it's a social protection program to ensure retirement income security. So you must know this and learn this for yourself. Well, thank you so much for staying with us all through the show. I am MFA Kusiadeti. Please stay for JoyNews Test with Mami Sinyameche Thompson.